Hello, good evening and welcome back to the Live Lounge here in Portsmouth. It's the second session of the day and we're about half an hour from getting Group B underway here. If you weren't with us earlier, well, you missed some small cocks, but some really big results, didn't they, Henry?
Absolutely, and it was a session where 4-3 was just the order of the day, wasn't it? I think we said at the start of the day when we had our little preview on stage before the beginning of Group C, we thought that these six were going to be very hard to prize apart, and it most certainly showed, and it's going to be some gripping conclusion tomorrow. Absolutely,
and I think you could say, Glenn, finishing or missed starts at double really was the order of the day, especially at the start of the morning session.
If you scrutinised it, the scoring was absolutely fine today, but it's okay sometimes when the finishing is really bad in one or two games, but it was the majority of the matches. You know, near the end, each game sort of just went into one big game there. Fascinating, very, very interesting to watch. Sets it up nicely for tomorrow.
And even though Alex Small is currently bottom of the table, he is someone whose throw has certainly impressed you.
And I had a chat with him, and I think hopefully he appreciates that. Just maybe some. I feel like I'm like the father to a lot of these people now, but you know, there's words of wisdom in the middle of what I'm trying to say to people. But I do like that boy, yeah.
Absolutely. And Jamie Kellin is currently top of the table. We've been talking about poor finishing, but that's been a strength of his throughout the course of the week. Maybe not at spells today, but he's picked up in other areas of his game.
I think the one thing we thought going into today was, as good as Jamie's finishing was, it was a scoring game that needed to improve. He did exactly that today. And I think with Jamie, we know the talent he's got. I think we're expecting him to kind of kick on and take that next level. And I feel like as the week's going on, maybe we're getting just that. I think he could be a real danger this week.
I agree, and I think that game against Darren Monk was absolutely superb, wasn't it? Two friends battling it out on the oche, and Jamie getting the win.
I think that was my favourite game of the day, and he's come across really well. And again, when you get a chance to speak to them, it's what you see is what you get. And he's a guy who said if it's Saturday night he's in it, he's got a lot of people coming to watch. So yeah, it probably gets my attention, and he impressed me. I guess it's the first time, whereas you know, a lot of the team have seen him play before. For me to see him up close and personal, but I was, very impressed.
So that's how Group C is looking going into tomorrow morning's session. That will recommence at 9:30 a.m. tomorrow. But now our attention turns to Group B. I've actually spoken to Scott Williams since being here today and spoken about, you know, he mentioned Nathan Girvan, who he's up against first this evening, and just saying, you know, he's someone who has certainly got the ability to just forget yesterday happened and put it on again today. Scott did say, you know, he wants to be the person that stops him from doing so, but Nathan has got that ability. Would you agree?
No, Stephanie, I think one of Nathan's best components is his temperament. And that's going to be tested to the fore because of the circumstances of yesterday. But obviously we've seen him come into the venue tonight, and for some players, you can kind of see that loom over their mind. It didn't for Nathan. It was just another day on the oche. So I think he'll be okay. But my word, that's a tough opener against Scott Williams. I think they're two players which, well, Scott should be on the Pro Tour next year, and you wouldn't be surprised if Nathan follows in his footsteps.
Most definitely. And we couldn't end this without talking about Matty Dennant, someone who you know quite well. He could have stopped you from winning the Premier League.
Yeah, I mean, he was a name that stood out. I was hoping sort of Colin Osborne was going to be on here tonight, so to get Matty and Colin, it's quite incredible. For me, it feels like, you know, this morning was the hors d'oeuvre and now it's the main courses to come, and it's 5 fantastic players and some sensational viewing that I'm assured of.
I'm going to ask you both now, so whoever wants to go first. I'm going to start with you, Henry. Who do you see coming through Group B?
So I just done a little bit with Sporty Stuff TV back in the studio, and I've gone for Nathan Girvan at 9-2 to win this group. He was the 4th favourite out of 5, which absolutely staggered me, but also shows the talent that's on show in this group. So I think he's got a really good chance if he can block out yesterday. And I think actually playing Scott will help because it's a really tough game to start. If he can block that out tonight, then yeah, I think he's a really good bet to go through.
Who do you think he'll go through with?
Oh, a really tough question. I'm going to say Scott Williams, and I'm going to say Matt Dennant.
Wow, wow. And who are your 3 to progress from Group B?
It genuinely is a difficult question because it wouldn't surprise me if any of the 5 going through. But as a fellow T-sider, Colin Osborne's right up there. I think Scott Williams, this is maybe too bold of a statement, is one of the best players in the world. He really is that good. He's got all the attributes and that brashness, that cockiness, that self-confidence to really go all the way. I don't know an awful lot about Sebastian, apart from the fact that he's a wonderful player. Matty Dennant, obviously, is I've got that sort of attachment to him there. But I've got to go for Nathan as well. I'm a huge fan of his, so quite similar. So maybe Colin Osborne instead of Matty Dennant.
Excellent. Well, we've got 10 games coming up for you this evening. It all gets underway from 10 p.m. on Sporty Stuff TV. Come and join us then. You'd be mad not to. Hello, good evening and welcome back to the MODUS Super Series. It's the second session of the day and that means the start of Group B. But before we tuck into tonight's action, and it is going to be a belting night of action, I've got Glenn Durrant alongside me to discuss what we've seen so far this week, Glenn, because we do already have one player through to finals night in Danny Lauby. So we're going to give you a little bit of a reminder of what happened in Group A, because it was all to play for, wasn't it, going into the penultimate game of the evening. Of course, Danny Lauby had the opportunity to seal his place. Didn't quite do that, though, did he?
It was an exciting group throughout and a wonderful finale for Danny. I'm over the moon for him. These guys who were coming across and, you know, coming all the way from America like he's done and grabbing these opportunities. It was great to see him. But I think the story was more about Nathan as well. So I think both deserve a positive message.
Most definitely. And then Nathan Girvan in that final match of Group A on that Wednesday afternoon. Of course, we're going to see, first we're going to see Danny Lauby's 1-2-1 attempt in this match.
And this was the real turning point. And this first start just sums up many, you know, when I watched the Stefan today, you know, it was a big fat five there as you do, but so many dart players do love the 25. And then it was sort of advantage back to Nathan Girvan again in the group because, you know, that really set up Nathan going to the last game to win it.
And we mentioned it yesterday at times. There we can see Nathan Girvan. He lost out to Bialecki, who, of course, he will be in action against later on this evening. But it almost feels like, given the way that final match went, it would have been better for Nathan had Lauby wrapped that up himself, so it wasn't on Nathan to lose that match.
He's so mature for a young lad. I mean, he's got a wonderful background with Alan Suter, who is a real giant of the game. I have so much respect. And I can also see the Chris Mason influence in Nathan. And I've come in tonight, and it's just another day now. He's got a wonderful future. You know, he's got wonderful attributes, but also his values are good. Yeah, he'll have a fruitful career, I'm certain.
And really interestingly, speaking to Williams today before tonight's action, of course, they're up first in our first match of the evening, but he was saying, you know, Nathan Girvan strikes him as someone who can just reset after a bad day, and that's so crucial in this. But it's also how it builds a player, you know, at just 19 years of age. That mental resilience is something that you need if you are going to then progress to the PDC.
You just put that in the memory bank. You learn from your losses more than you do some of your wins. But it's fantastic to hear Scott talking about someone like that, because Scott's very much about being brash, being cocky. This guy, I mean, he's one of the few guys who's walked into a pro tour and, you know, he wasn't fazed by anyone. But I've seen a different side of him tonight. He speaks really well, and to hear him speaking of Nathan like that, and, you know, what a fantastic opening game that's going to be.
Absolutely. So that was Group A. That's how that ended. It was Danny Lauby, as you can see, confirmation there. He's already booked his spot in finals night. A reminder that you could be here too. If you go to dartshop.tv, you can get your free tickets there. And why wouldn't you want to be here on Saturday night? We can now have a look at Group C, because that's what we focused on this morning into this afternoon. Remarkable amount of games go into a last leg decider. It's really, really finely poised, isn't it?
I mean, it was my first time as a commentator, and wow, was I put through the ringer a little bit there. There was just so many 4-3s. I mean, the table could have been the total opposite there, and such an exciting table for tomorrow. You know, anything can happen, and each win now is going to be absolutely massive.
And a word on Jamie Kellin, we can see there, he's top in the group at the moment. Really, really impressive, especially we focus so much on his finishing at the start of the week, but his scoring's really, really improved as well, hasn't it?
Yeah, we did build up his finishing, and he was the best finisher today, which is, I know it's a stupid statement to make, but finishing was incredibly inconsistent with all the players today. That was the thing. All of them scored well. Stefan Belmont scored superbly well and is sitting in sort of 5th place there. But yeah, he was the best finisher, and that's why he finished top of the group.
Absolutely. And that group concludes tomorrow. We can see how things are poised going into that. Aaron Monk, of course, someone we've talked about a lot as well. Alex Small is in 6th place on 2 points, but he's someone you've had a little catch up with because you do really like his action, don't you?
I like him. I like him. He's a young talent. You don't win the Champion of Champions without being a superb player. And there's just something about him that I really like. And like I said to him, you don't lose, you learn. He's young enough to sort of And that's what this is about, this Super Series. It's a wonderful opportunity for people, and you can't buy this experience. And yeah, he'll be buzzing with that.
Yeah, absolutely. So we move on to tonight's action. Then, of course, we do have players involved who dropped down from Group A. Nathan Girvan, one of them. Sebastian Bialecki, the other one of those. I know you said you've not seen a great deal of him, but this was a 1.52 checkout from him. Finishing was actually a real weakness for him in the Open in 3 days, but that finish superb, and we've seen what he can do on big stages, especially in the UK Open.
Exactly, the quarterfinal, and if I remember rightly, he got a 9 dart the year before that as well. So all 5 players, like I said earlier, it feels like we've had the hors d'oeuvre. This is now the main course. All 5 players can win this group, and I'm super excited.
Most definitely, and we have to mention Dennant, because he is somebody who could have prevented you from getting through Q School and going on to win the Premier League.
I was looking for Colin Osborne's name, obviously being a fellow Teessider, and when I saw that Matty Dennant was here, I knew that that's probably going to be the headlines when someone chatted with me. But we're having a laugh downstairs about it. It's sort of, it goes back to he missed 3 darts, the missed double 16 for me to get me to a card, and would I ever been Premier League champion? No. So it's yeah, I owe an awful lot to Matty for that miss.
It's almost like we planned it. We really didn't. We're not that organised here to plan something like that. But of course, Nathan Girvan is first in action tonight. It's going to be really interesting, isn't it, to see how he responds to the disappointments of yesterday. I'll
use the word very mature. He's great to talk to, and if you look at the body language downstairs, he doesn't look like a person that's took a beating yesterday. He'll take some beating tonight. I know he's the fancy for Henry too, so yeah, he's a great young man, great young player.
And of course, he takes on someone in Scott Williams. When I had a catch up with him prior to tonight's action, one of the questions I asked him was, what's your biggest achievement in darts? And he had to pause because he's achieved so much just in the past 12 months. Of course, winning Players' Championship 17, something is incredibly difficult to do. And of course, a record-breaking 4 Challenge Tour titles.
He is the real deal. He's a superb. He's got everything there, and he's very self-confident. He's self-aware. He understands where he wants to go, and anyone who'll wear yellow trousers, the Root with the Bear stuff, and all that, you must be good to do that. I'm really excited to see how he performs tonight. To see him so close and personal, which you get a chance to do in the commentator box there, it's going to be a great night.
Yeah, it really is a mouth-watering clash to get us going this evening. This man is going to sprint down to the commentary box to join Henry Deacon.
Good evening, Abby. Good evening, everyone. Seconds out, round 2 on Thursday here at the MODUS Super Series. And we see Nathan Girvan, the man who was so close to qualifying through Group A before being pipped at the post by Danny Lalby, take on Scott Williams. He's been the man of the moment in 2022. Top of the Challenge Tour Order of Merit, a 4-time winner in 2022, and a victory in Leicester only this weekend. A Pro Tour winner this year, winning Players' Championship 17 in Needhausen. And he's not a man short of confidence either, even giving us a wave to the camera en route to the Oki early on this evening. This should be an enthralling tungsten tussle to open up our evening's action. And what a Group B we have in store here as well at the MODUS Super Series. So if I can guarantee you one thing you should do this evening, it is sit back, relax, and enjoy all the darting drama unfold, because for certain there is going to be a fair bit of that, because the way Group B works, 5 players, 3 go through. The first night sets it up nicely for Friday evening's action. And alongside me in the commentary box to describe all the action is the 3-time Lakeside champion, former Premier League champ Glenn Durham. Glenn, a very good evening to you.
Yeah, it's been a long day already, but this game sort of whetted the appetite the moment I saw it, and I do feel like this afternoon with the starter, but there's 5 unbelievable players tonight, and we both picked this as possibly the game of the night.
100.
And you feel like when you watch groups here at the Super Series, you can kind of feed off the first couple of games. If these two get off to a good start, which Girvan, in fairness,
60.
is doing here, then that can really set what the tone for what we're going to see after.
An opening win is huge. When 3 go through from a 5-man group, if you can get off with a big win first game. But I think they've both been very respectful of each other. I was surprised to hear Scott wax lyrical about Nathan, because I just assume that Scott is this brash, cocky person who can beat anybody. And it's been nice to see the softer side of Scott backstage. And I mean, what a talent. I'm obsessed with throws. There's not an awful lot wrong can go, with that there. And also he's using the Dilly flags there. So that's interesting. But he does like his yellow, I guess.
New stablemate of Dimitri's. Now he's joined target. And one thing I've also seen with Scott Williams is he does like to help the younger players forward. I remember being in the Isle of Man when he won this year, and he was helping out Leighton Bennett with his game.
I think they're both from Lincolnshire. Correct me if I'm wrong there. So
you require
that doesn't surprise me. But Nathan here for 81. This would be a real settler.
Game
and a double to start the night. What Nathan a fantastic Girvan. Start there from young Nathan, who had an absolute nightmare finish to yesterday. But that just shows you the calibre, the composure of this young man. That's a fantastic start.
Well, we're always going to ask the question of how he can get himself back up for tonight following the disappointment of yesterday. And that is your emphatic answer.
81.
And it was a breaker throw as well, more importantly. In these best of sevens, you know, they're like gold dust, especially with the calibre of the players that are here tonight. Breaker throws in a best of sevens. 91. But I think Scott's just warming up to the task as well. And I'm loving the yellow up there.
It's like a Coldplay track, isn't it?
92.
I'm not going to start singing. That was this afternoon. That was enough of that.
Well, we have got a few stars, and they're going to shine for you in everything that they all do over the next 10 games or so here at the Super Series. I suppose for Scott as well, it shows how good this format is, because this is his second chance in this competition. A player who's won all that he's won this year on the Pro Tour circuit as well. He's had to come back for Group B just to try and qualify his way into this event.
There was a fantastic read about Robert Owen this week, and it was a fascinating read. And he said, you know, he's played Pro Tours, Challenge Tours, he's played WDF, but he said the toughest one of all has been the Super Series because it's so cutthroat. You win a game, you go backstage with your head in your hands, and then you're back on in half an hour's time. How do you pick yourself up? So you really find out an awful lot about yourself. But Scott's played, something similar for England when you're on, you're off. It can be a real, it can be a real help for you to have that sort of history as well. Oh, I never had a 170 day. I was begging for one.
81.
Talked myself out that again, didn't I?
The curse of Dazza returns for the evening session.
I had a better ending than I did beginning this afternoon. Scott uses that 19s an awful lot there. One thing about being a commentator, you really get up close and personal and see people playing, and it's been really interesting to see some of them
59.
things. We talked an awful lot today about people not using the 19s enough, whereas Scott's starting down there an awful lot.
133 for Williams, with Girvan back on 130 to consolidate the break he accrued in the first leg of a hold in the second.
Fantastic last start. It's a 130 finish here for Nathan is a finish we all like. And that leaves double 5 to go 2-0 up.
What a finish that is.
And what's even better about that, Henry, is the fact that Scott was sat on 36 there. He'll be feeling pretty good about himself. And it was a holder throw. He's averaging over 90, so it's a job done so far. It's a great start for Nathan. And I think you fancied him to win the group.
Yes, I was on Sporty Stuff TV early on this evening at about 8:25, 8:30, and at 9-2 to win the group. I thought they're huge odds for a player Nathan's capabilities and calibre.
I'm sure what was taken into consideration, the sort of finish he had yesterday. You think of how his morale's going to be. But like you said, he's mature beyond his years there. And you can just see that the Alan Suter and the Chris Mason influence in him. And, them two people will be huge for him going forward.
Because it is so easy as a consequence of yesterday just to fold and your whole week peter out as a result of it.
I never thought that would happen. Obviously, Nathan, I go back to playing Scottish Open pairs with him. I don't know how, if he's 19 now, he's probably only 14 or 15 that day. And people tell me, when was the best you've ever played? And that day playing pairs with him. I don't know if we reached the final or the semi-final, but we've sort of had a bond since then. And I remember sponsoring him for the Finders Masters one year. I think I paid for his flight and one or two things for him. So I do have this affiliation with Nathan. It's great to see him doing so well.
Got to get that tournament back on the calendar.
It was one of the best.
You didn't do too bad there either, did you?
Anything BDO, I didn't do too bad, but we've seen this finish. I think it was going for 2 tops there, do you think?
Looked like it, but he's blocked the bid. He's had to move all the way across to the right.
60. Nathan,
And you could tell with the last dart.
We talk about game changes a lot today. Look at this finish that he's on. I think we also had a couple of bounce out there, but it did look like that was in treble 5 there.
40. Scott, you
So
require
to start
20.
this campaign. He'll need this double 10 to really settle Scott down now.
Game shot on the
And that's-
third leg.
couldn't get any further in the
Scott
middle there. So
Williams.
this has had the ingredients of being a great game, and both players are absolutely delivering here.
Starting is we
Well,
hope
it's
to
Nathan
go on.
to throw first.
Now, I just want a little bit of
Game
a chat
on.
about your time in the commentary box so far. Obviously, you've mentioned that you get to see darts from a different way. And I'm not trying to talk myself out of a job here by this next statement I'm going to say, but do you think more players should come
100.
into the commentary box, have a little look, have a little bit of a tester with maybe here or Euro Tours or elsewhere?
It's not as easy as you think. And obviously,
60.
you know, you're just sometimes trying to find the right words, make sure you're not repeating yourself. So it's not a job because you're a good dart player, you'll be a good commentator. You know, and I think you guys are absolutely safe of what you're doing. But it's a great experience.
100.
And I've talked a lot today that it's been a very unhappy time for me at darts. It's been difficult with this sort of the 12 to 18 months. And I've been happy today. And it's sort of giving me that jump,
96.
like what the coaching's doing. And it's great just to talk to people backstage about the pressure of all that. But a lot tougher than you think.
Don't worry, next time
85.
we'll make sure we book you in for proper commentator.
You've been great. You're my partner now. That's your new name for me. But the transition's totally different. It's difficult. And
140.
like I said, because you're a great dart player doesn't mean that you're going to be a great commentator. But that's my plan. That's my intention. I'm loving it. And if there's any opportunities, I'll grab them with both hands.
Luckily, you're good at both.
56.
God bless. There's that £5.
Talking about good players, these are two of the very best. Scott Williams, top of the Challenge
95.
Tour Order of Merit. Nathan Girvan,
you
7th
require
from the Development Tour Order of Merit.
160.
Could get himself a tour card because of those exploits. But here he wants 160 for a 3-1 lead. And so Williams is going to get the opportunity now on 110 to
100.
accrue
So
that break
require
back and to level us up at
110.
2 apiece.
But that was a superb 100 there by Nathan. He looks good, but make or break. Game changer moment.
Game shot on the
Game
fourth leg.
changer done. They're the
Scott
kind of
Williams.
finishers. Because Nathan would have checked out on 60. I'm super confident of that. And that's the confidence that this man has right now. He probably felt as he walked up there. And we'll chat how long his points were. 50mm points. I mean, I think it's only just in pipes I've seen points longer than that. But it's a wonderful feeling when you get on that hockey and when you've got them 110 and you feel confident that you're going to get it.
93.
That's the type of person, and that's probably how he's playing right now, that when he stepped behind there, no matter what Nathan was on, he probably felt he was going to finish.
Are there any major distinct differences between a longer and a shorter point, do you think?
I always found
58.
that if you get it right, the sort of the dart comes back out. So I guess there's an element where you can be hitting more 180s. You can see more of the bed. And when you're playing bad, like I've been, you know, you do try various things, but it wasn't for me. But we've had a good chat about his dart and what he wants. He knew all about them and how many millimeters and everything that he wants. So he knows what, he knows exactly what he's looking for and what suits him.
Nathan Girvan's not actually playing with his own darts. It's a pair borrowed off of our mate Andy Jenkins.
177.
There's the dulcet tones of Owen Binks with a big 177 there. And like I said, he's just warming into this game very, very nice. 110 finish there is clearly giving him his mojo. And 179 now. He'd be looking for a couple of trebles once again. A 171 there would have left double four. I'm surprised he changed that.
133.
And he likes that part of the board as well. But he will return for 46 to make it 3-2. He's wrestled the game right back in his favour after Nathan Girvan looked as if he was going to run away with it. But that 1-2-8 could be crucial if Williams cannot convert this 46 for 3-2. 2-16s.
Game shot on the
We'll do it nicely for Scott Williams. And that's 3 from 4 on the outer ring. The doubling has actually been sublime. 75% Williams, 2 from 2 for Girvan. And we've seen outshots of 110 and 130 in this match.
The total opposite to sort of this afternoon, where the scoring was amazing, but they just couldn't hit a double between them. You know, we're seeing two top operators right now.
100.
Both have got a presence on the hockey there, a lot of respect. But that's what I'm really enjoying, and that's just the way that dart's sitting there. It's just begging for another treble.
140.
And that the average is like stepping up right 96 there now, and Nathan's over the 90 mark. This is we did say that this potentially could be the game of the day, and both guys are delivering right now.
And hopefully this is just starters for our group this evening.
140.
He has real poise. He just knows he's in a good position right now. But this is a 19-year-old lad with borrowed darts, you tell me.
140.
I mean, that just shows you the kind of talent after, you know, a difficult day yesterday. I don't think really this match deserves a loser.
140. Nathan, you require 81.
There's just no tactics. There's just no one's slowing down. No one's speeding up. Could be bringing the Bulls average double 13.
68.
That's the difference. That 1-2
Scott,
millimetre difference
81.
there, and leaves exactly the same finish now for Scott.
It would be dart Javu, and this is for the match, but Williams likes to go the 15 route, the bullseye to win it. And so Girvan will return
Nathan,
for 13 to take us all the way. We've been here before, Glenn.
Like I said, the first dart's tough as he'd be glad that's gone in now.
Game shot on the
Incredible
sixth
start
flat.
of the day.
Nathan Girvan.
If you weren't watching this afternoon, it was just 4-3 after 4-3 after 4-3. We certainly earned our money this morning, and it's
Seventh and
exactly
final
started
wicket,
again
Scott to
here
throw
with a
first.
3-3 start.
Game on.
But for me, this game deserves it, and it's going to be really interesting, this last leg decider now.
And Williams has really upped the average. It's now 97.79, or that's come tumbling down as a result of that visit.
It's about nerve now. Who holds the nerve? And with Scott going first just with a 57, that's all you want to hear. And then Nathan goes up and blitz that treble 20 there for a lovely maximum. His second of the match.
And the timing is perfectionate.
There were so many 1-3-4s again this afternoon, and that's been replicated already. But he needs a treble.
57.
That might not be enough the way both lads are playing right now.
Could have handed the initiative back to Williams here.
He just G's himself up.
60.
But all of a sudden, when it's a one-leg decider there, you do tighten them. Doesn't matter how relaxed you are. All of a sudden, you start to think, and he'd be delighted with that first start there. And a ton, which feels not enough, he'll think.
100.
He'll think with such a perfect first start, he'll probably walk back a touch disappointed, but he's on a finish. He's in control.
60. Nathan, you record 100.
So he's got 6 darts at 164. He probably didn't think it going against the darts. He had this opportunity. What do you do now? Is it treble 20 again? That is what you call.
100.
That is what you call maturity for a 19-year-old lad. That's an absolutely superb setup.
Needs him on double 16 after 12 to claim the first victory of
90.
the evening in
Nathan,
Group B, and following
32.
the disappointments of yesterday where he missed out to Danny Lauby. Nathan Girvan misses 3 match darts, and Williams is back for a ton.
100.
He can't believe his luck right now, Scott, as he stands behind him. He G's himself up. What do you do? Do you stay? Double 10 for the match.
Game
what a
shot on the
finish.
match.
What will Nathan be thinking right now? An absolutely unbelievable start of the games tonight. A 4-3 finish for Scott Williams. 95.34, staggering 66% on the averages, 110 finish, 100 finish, a fantastic start to this evening's games.
Hello, good evening and welcome back to the MODUS Super Series, where we've just seen Scott Williams come through a last leg decider to get the better of Nathan Girvan. We thought it would be a high quality contest to start the evening, didn't we? And it most certainly was. It's clear to see why Scott Williams is favourite to come through that group, but even in defeat, Nathan Girvan really showing his grit and determination with the performance. A huge 130 checkout from him, but 2 ton plus outs from Scott Williams helped get him over the line, ending the match with a ton outshot. Next up, we've got Colin Osborne up against Sebastian Bialecki. Let's see how this one unfolds in the company of Henry and Glenn.
Thank you very much, Abby. Colin Osborne against Sebastian Bialecki is our second game of the evening session here at the Super Series. We've seen Seb already this week. He took part in Group A, finished 3rd. Right, for Colin Osborne, he returns to us here at the Super Series. 7-time PDC event winner, as you can see on your screen now, as the 47-year-old from some place called Middlesbrough. I don't know whereabouts that is on the map.
No, never heard of it. I think it's up somewhere where they all eat palmos or something. But yeah, I must admit, it was the first name I looked out for when I got the call to do the commentary. Looked at the groups, you know, I was looking to see his Colin there. So it's wonderful to commentate on an absolute gentleman.
It's a good mate of yours, isn't it, from your neck of the woods?
He was a guy, very, very quickly, he was a guy who used to play first for his local team, would play snooker first and had 100 break in him. He's one of them ones who was good at most sport, but he'd have 3 at the board and would win, you know, 50, 60% of his games. And then
It feels like it's
went
Colin
to
to throw
Derby
first.
and
Game
you know,
on.
had these messages that he's absolutely killing it down there. And I didn't believe it, because no one can improve that quickly. And then I saw him at the UK Open around about 2008, something like that, and he was sensational.
Maybe we'll get him and Mark Williams to do an Olympic Games of darts and snooker and combined scores wins.
He takes unbeaten, and if they decide as the yo-yo, we're laughing.
Mark Williams can play as well, actually.
Yeah, he can, and he can play golf. Much to my, he came up to Redcar to play golf. He was brilliant at that as well. It was nice talking to Colin at the recent Teesside Open because, I mean, his throw has changed. And he said it took him up to 5 years to get it, but he's feeling very good about his game. Yeah, he started unbelievably, averaging just a mere 152.50 with a max in the bag already.
How do throws develop over time? Do you as a player feel as if you know it, or is it just something that just feels like it changes over time and you just naturally flow with it anyway?
Yes, I mean, when you're at your best, and Colin said exactly the same. He couldn't tell you how he threw a dart, but something creeped into his game, and just when you're in the Pro Tour and you're getting beaten up week in, week out, it's really tough. But he's coming back. I mean, I've been looking forward to watching him play. He said he feels very good about his game, and if he checks out in this 96 here, it's an unbelievable start.
Game shown the
and
first
that is
leg.
a wonderful opening because
Colin
that was the
Osborne.
perfect second dart, was just missed, and he knows that I'm commentating, so he said he's put a little bit of pressure on him, but what a start, just a mere 12.
Second leg, it's Sebastian to throw first.
It's okay, I suppose.
There's more to come from Middlesbrough's Teesside number 2.
38.
Jamie Durran being number 1, of course. I've just to make that clear, everyone.
I did see the name Durran. I just needed to do a double check.
Yeah. I was also keen, obviously, to watch Sebastian as well. Like I said, the beauty of being sat where I am now, I'm seeing people because all I know Sebastian is obviously what I saw him at the unbelievable UK Opens. But he's up against an inspired Colin Osborne here with his second maximum.
100.
If we can follow it up with a third here, things could get very, very interesting.
That would be the fairy tale opening day for me. Boo, the crowd go boo.
And Colin, very much a stacker. He very much relies on his first dart a lot, doesn't he?
Yeah, I've been chatting about his darts, and we've had a good chat back. 20 grams, and like I said, it's working well for him. That average right now is absolutely staggering. And look at the difference there with poor Sebastian. I don't think he knows what's hit him.
The Teesside Express is in town.
99.
Yeah, 303 is usually a people go down to the 19s there, 'cause 2 treble 19s with a single would obviously leave that
59.
the big fish. But
Colin, you
82,
require 82.
another cracking finish for us dart players. We do love to start with a bullseye. And 2 reasons there. People might be
42.
watching, wondering why you didn't go the double-double, but obviously Sebastian wasn't on the finish. And also Colin's quite old school, so he went just sort of the simple win, set it up nicely.
And set himself up nicely for tops after
58.
12. And
Colin, you require
whenever I
40.
say that sentence, you know you're in a good space. This is for a 13 darter on the back of a 12.
Game's on the
And this has
second
been a
leg.
super start for Colin
Colin
Osborne. He's
Osborne.
2-0 up in the flash of an eye. 13 dart leg, averaging 120 at this early stage. And if he can win this match in 25
Filling
darts, he'll break
Colin
the
to throw
record average.
first. Game on.
That is unbelievable start. I'm feeling quite proud sort of watching him here, but I can't have any bias here, so I've got to. We need to talk about Bialecki as well, but like I say, he won't know what's hit him right now, and look at the difference in them averages. That's a staggering comparison.
81.
Is it much of a struggle for Bialecki because he knows Osborne's playing at this level, and because he can't find anything in response, your game then lags another level as a consequence?
58.
Sometimes you can just relax, and like I said, and we've seen it today many times, you're not out of it. A best of 7, if you can just, if Colin dips at all and Sebastian plays like he can, 2-0's absolutely nothing in this format.
140.
You're absolutely right with these stack of darts. He used to sit them up a little bit more than this, but he seems to really like that dart under the treble. That's
55.
another 140 there, but this is some performance.
Just watch how this first dart lands into the board. Well, he's going to make me look like an absolute idiot now, because I was hoping it was going to sit on the bottom of the treble 20 bed or just below the treble 20 bed, because that's
60.
where he can really work his way into a big treble visit, because he can just use the lie of the first dart just to float it over the top.
He just needs to see out the game now. I mean, let's put perspective on this. He wants the 2 points. We've talked about how tough this group is. It's not about record averages. They're wonderful. But right now, it's just about, he's in a position now where he should win this match. And all of a sudden, now you can start, you can be
50.
too far ahead. And he just needs to see out this game.
Feels like only the second time in this match you've actually seen him have a slip away from the big segment.
134.
And there's the juicy 134 again that we've seen so many
170.
times. But no bias, I promise. But come on, Colin, give me it. Come on, Colin. Palm up, palm up. Oh, I would have bought him a palm. I would have even done a hot shot palm off for you, Colin.
78.
You had the does a shuffle on comms.
I could have, if there was a bit more room in here, then what I would have done. If a 9 dart happens, just for you.
58.
That is on record now, Glenn.
92.
This is interesting. There's 2 options here. You can go the treble 20 or you can go the bullseye. And it's all the fact that Sebastian was on 136, but he felt confident to
Game's
go
on
that
the
way.
third leg.
This and that.
Colin Osborne.
Bang, bang. 3-0. He'd be feeling really good about himself. So composed, so self-confident. Yeah, he's looking in great shape right
Sebastian
now.
to throw first.
Sebastian needs something, and it's got to happen right now.
140.
That'll help. That's his first 140 plus throw of the game.
I mean, the way the day's been going, I am not ruling out the 4-3, so what will be here.
36.
But these are the kind of things I'm looking at with these players now. How is Colin, who is riding the crest of a wave in this game, how is he going to see out this match? Because you can be too fat. You can
60.
overthink in this position, and Sebastian can jump all over that.
It's been a busy day here at the Super Series. We enter leg number 107 of our day. It could be the last of this match.
His third maximum is,
180.
this is what it's all about. And it's a great sign when you've got more 180s than you certainly have hundreds and 140s. He's 107 average right now. This is
40.
special stuff.
Of course, you mentioned you want to get the victories on the board, but it will send out a marker to the rest of the field.
He's relentless.
85.
20 there would have left a lovely finish there for him. But again, it's advantage Osborne in this leg here. Sebastian, you need something to happen, and you need it right now, sir.
140.
That'll do it. Leaves himself 1-2-1 after 12. Osborne will love a 140 here.
He knows he's got to finish in 6 darts here, so it's minimum a ton. And as we talked about, I think he sort of prefers that dart just below
45.
He sort of struggles when it's just a little bit above there.
21.
So 1-2-1, is it a bullseye or is he going to the top? He's going top. Treble 17. 84, so that's treble 16.
53.
That would have left a double 18 finish.
155.
And is it going to be a champagne finish for a fantastic match here for Colin?
Bialecki will return for 68 to get a leg on the board. Up against a rampant Osborne who's come out the tracks flying.
He requires 68.
I think he maybe should have gone downstairs there, especially after finishing on 96, 92 earlier. And double 16 for his first leg of the night.
Game shot on the
And that's
fourth
what it's
leg.
all about.
Sebastian
We can't rule
Bialecki.
out that this one's going to go all the way, but that's exactly what Sebastian needed. And there's no better feeling to get your first double in out the way.
Game on.
Colin's still in total control, still averaging over 100, but still work to do.
Showed a lot of maturity as well. A lot of composure because he's had a barrage against him so far in this game.
81.
He's only really had that one opportunity in the chance he took.
And it's a totally different practice room tonight, compared to this afternoon where we had big characters in there this afternoon. But when you talk about being reserved and being shy, that's exactly what I've written down about Sebastian. It just seems really focused on his own game. But you're just going to find out what he's really about now. When you're 3-0 down and your opponent's averaging 105 plus, it's just, you find out a little bit about yourself, and that's exactly what we're finding out right now.
I think it'd be fair to suggest that we've seen flashes of Bialecki, maybe not consistent patches of his brilliance this week.
No, this game's been all about Colin, but what I've learned about today, that these best of sevens, it's never over, and there'd be no surprise for me now for Sebastian to kick in because Colin's scoring's beginning to desert, and because he can see that winning line, it's sometimes you're better off being in a 3-2 game. It's not as easy as you think when you're 3-0 up because your mind wanders. I just get the feeling that's where it's happened right now. Colin could do with one really big score right now.
Dart players didn't have a brain, the game would be easy.
And this is exactly what he's doing.
140.
At the 140 is exactly what I called there for him, because he'll be feeling great about himself because he needs a minimum 2 doubles. He really needs to fill it up here, Sebastian.
134.
And that's exactly what he's done. So he's got another one of them finishes that we all love.
Full focus here for Colin on this 160 for the match.
100.
Tunnel do, unless Bialecki can take out the 152. He's already done it this week in a crucial situation. Won't do this time.
Well, he's going to give Colin something. He's certainly giving Colin something to think about now.
Requires 60.
But the first dart's the crucial one here. We already seen it earlier on today where someone busted by it, but that's the perfect dart. Just sit it on top of that now.
Game shot on the match.
That was an absolutely outstanding game by Colin Osborne. A 97.7 average, the highest average of the day. A staggering 80% on the checkouts. Job done. He'll be going back to the practice room. One very happy man.
Indeed. We're going to take a short break. When we return, we're going to see Matt Dennant in action for the first time this evening. He's the last player to play in Group B, and he takes on Scott Williams shortly.
Good evening and welcome back to the MODUS Super Series here at the Live Lounge in Portsmouth, where we've just seen Colin Osborne with a wonderful start to his evening. 4-1 victory over Sebastian Bialecki in that one. There you can see he's had the highest average of the day so far. He came out of the blocks really quickly, a 12-dart leg to take the opener, and he really motored from there, really. Of all the players involved tonight, former world champion quarter-finalist Osborne has the best finishing percentage. As you can see, 80% on the outer ring in that match. 4 out of 5 on the doubles. A really clinical display from him to start the evening and get his first 2 points of the evening in Group B. Next up, we've got Matt Dennant against Scott Williams. Of course, Scott Williams coming through that last leg decider in his opening match. This is the first we're going to see of Dennant at our brand new venue. Let's see how he gets on. Predictions from you two in the commentary box.
No surprise, Abby. I'm going to enjoy the splinters and sit on the fence on this one. But what's your thoughts on this one, Glenn?
Well, obviously I know Scott Williams very well, but I don't think I've ever met Matt Dennant. I don't think I've ever come across the guy. So I guess I'll be watching him for the first... Oh, Matt Dennant! Yes, but yeah, obviously, I mean, this story I must have told more than anything ever. But I guess, you know, the kid missed 3 darts at double 16 and would have ended my PDC career forever, because I would never have gone back to Q school. I always sort of made that statement. So it is insane when you sort of self-reflect and you sort of look back. But we did have a laugh backstage there, and I think he's sick of the question as much as I am as well now. But I just wish him all the best.
Indeed, he's the last player with a 5 to toe the hockey this evening, and we're having a look at his record in this tournament between the games during the break, and it's his second opportunity in this phase. He finished 3rd in week 4, week which was won by Dal Pilgrim. Josh Payne was the runner-up in that week as well, and it seems that every single time he plays here at the Super Series or in its predecessor tournament, the Live League, he tends to get through to Saturday.
You probably put the mockers on that straight away now, but the stat that I found interesting, they were both very similar in averages, you know, sort of through every game they've played, but both won around about 57% of the game. So, you know, you could argue it's a real leveler, but Scott's had that advantage.
180.
He's had that advantage of playing already, and that is just absolutely sensational. The blind 180, but go on, Matt, give him it. Oh, I'd have looked away there. I would have looked away, but what a start to tonight's proceedings. It's just been unbelievable. And these aren't disappointing already. You can just see the way the darts are going in the board and everything now. They've all settled. They all feel great.
This is good fun already. Well, Scott Williams is going to return for 96, and no doubt he'll definitely look at every single dart in this turn.
Will he, though?
43. Scott, you require 96.
I've got a funny feeling of a double-double here. No,
56.
You're right to think so, Glenn.
Matt, you
but he
require
might
90.
not win the leg, because Dennant wants 90 here.
The Girvan Price finish of the World Series of Darts. Bullseye.
65. Scott, you require 40.
So Williams returns to tops after 12 for a breaker throw in the opening leg.
Liked watching him there. He just sort of reset.
30.
But no, them big points there. They're just
Matt,
sticking away that couple
25.
of millimetres away from the desired target there. And we talked so much about this finish this afternoon, didn't we? It's incredible how often we're finishing on 25.
Game shot on the
that's
first
exactly
leg.
where he finishes, because
Matt Dennant.
it's one of them finishes that us players, because we missed the bull, and so many of the top players practice on that finish. And it's amazing how many times that 25 will be a winning score to win the match there. And Matty opens proceedings with that opening leg.
Survived a bit of a scare from Scott Williams. He saw out the storm.
It would have been a breaker throw for Scott as well, so he'd probably be super frustrated. Stood behind him there. And Matty's quite relentless once he gets going. He seems to be a bit of a real front runner as well, does Matt.
93.
What's interesting, players, is he sat thinking, Scott, about that, like, you know, them doubles there, or is it already done? You know, that's the kind of different mindset that players have. It's interesting to get in people's brains how they play, but he stood there sort of
96.
messing about with his darts. I'm always keen to find out what they're thinking right now. And 308 is a standard way of going now, of going for the 18th first dart. Again, he's maximising his opportunities to get down to a finish there. And he's well ahead in this leg, but 2 trebles there from Matt.
164.
And that's wonderful counting as well, because even if he did the 25 there, it was still left a finish there.
This really is a quality encounter, and Scott Williams would have been praying for
85.
171.
Now you're 145.
I've seen some funny ways of going up a 145 this afternoon, so... But again, using the 19s, both players here.
57. Scott, you require
110, which I thought was pretty relentless in the last one. I wonder if he's feeling exactly the same. This time going on the 17s. Double 18.
Game shot on the second leg.
We called it
Scott
there, the
Williams.
110. He just felt like as he approached the hockey, he knew he was going to get that. And I just had that same feeling there when he wanted that double 18. And that's just a sign of someone who's just brimming with
Matt to throw
confidence right now.
first.
99.2 average for Williams. This is a quality contest here.
134.
It was tough to watch at times this afternoon with so many missed doubles, so many averages in the 70s, and you know, just tonight's been so refreshing. It's just the scores are there, the finishing
180.
It is. I was a little bit concerned that we built tonight up so much, but both, you know, all 5 players right now are playing absolutely out their skin.
134.
This is what we've been looking forward to all day. This is what we've been looking forward to since last Friday.
Why didn't you look away, man?
You don't blink and you'll miss it.
Even though he was on for the 9 darter
171.
and set up a 62 finish. This is an incredible match right now that you're witnessing.
58.
In this leg alone, Matt is at 7
62.
treble 19s. It's been the story for all the players tonight. But a 62 finish, double 16.
30. Scott, you require 123.
How many times have I said don't miss double 16 to Matt Dennant? Could he go for the treble 18? He hasn't. So Matt has got that chance of 3 darts in his hand.
Matt, you require 32.
To take a real positive stride in this match, to take a 2-1 lead.
Game shot on the
That's
third
exactly
leg.
what he's done there,
Matt
Henry.
Dennant.
Quality contest. Both are playing. Scott's averaging 104.36 and losing. But it's Matt Dennant.
Four-legged Scott
with a max under the belt and a 96.48 average. This is a quality contest.
And despite the brilliance of Williams, Dennant is doing exactly what he needs to do with the darts.
Timing. That's what a lot of game is all about. And no better player than James Wade for, you know, timing should be his nickname. Because he just does it better than anybody.
42.
And that's the difference right now. He's just doing the right things. And that 171 in the last match, in the last leg, sorry, was the decider.
His cover shooting has been exceptional.
That 134 score again. I think I'll go to bed tonight just dreaming of 134s. That's so many times that's been hit today.
100.
He looks like he's in the zone, Matt. Doesn't matter sort of what Scott does. I think he's just doing his own thing, but he's gritting his teeth right now. And this is just
180.
Just look at his throw. You know, just all I'm asking from, you know, just his follow through, his body movement, and you know that's his 3rd max.
96. Scott, you record 127.
He likes the use of that 17s, doesn't he?
73.
He missed the big 18 there, but he'd be very happy where he has. You know, the 54 after 12 darts is absolutely perfect.
85. Scott, you require 54.
Still on for a potential 14 darter. First objective will be the 14.
He looks a little bit animated, but there's no need to it. This is what we've called this and that. Is it the big number, double 10?
34.
That incredible long point there. You can just tell straight away whether it's in or not. So has Matt got a little bit of luck on his side now? Can he do something with this 178 to make Scott think about it?
60.
Possibly not. So
Got your
Scott
required
Williams
20.
returns for 2-2. This exhilarating
on the
game,
fourth
which
leg.
is seesaw in one
Scott
way or the next, but the
Williams.
dominance has been with the throw. 2 apiece, best of 3 is Dennant with the darts in leg 5. He's been really proficient
Look, it's
when he
Matt to
has had the
throw
throw in this
first.
match.
Game on.
Talked an awful lot about match play darts, you know, the best of 7. And even though there's such a big difference, 10-point
57.
difference, you've hit the nail on the head there just at the right time on his throw. And if Matty, obviously, it's an obvious statement, but if he wins his darts on his throw, he wins the match.
91.
How good is Scott in that treble? 17, by the way.
Every single time he's run for cover, he's
81.
found something.
It's a great shot of his throw there. That side on view there. It's classic. And I remember talking to him at the Pro Tour. He just made the game. You know, he sat down for a while, just got up, pinged a 180. The game just is so easy to him. Now it's all about mindset.
60.
Now it's all about driving his career forward. And he's been given these opportunities in the Challenge too. He's been given these opportunities at the Super Series. And he's grabbing them with both hands.
Well, in most circumstances, he would have
100.
gone downstairs, but he needed the 140 to leave the fish. Dennant will stay on the 19s.
Well, he gets 7 of them in the last leg, so he's playing really well there.
133.
Absolutely perfect setup there for Matt. And it leaves the big 170.
He may have to take it because Williams has made some huge
140.
inroads on the Dennant throw.
170.
It's just the way them darts are sitting for him. But Matt, can you do it? Not with a first dart like that, you can't.
82.
And we talked an awful lot this afternoon.
Scott, you require
And
70.
you've got this 70 finish, this 64 finish. And once again, these are the kind of things I want people to notice. This is what you should be practicing double 8.
54.
We've
Now
seen
you
this
require
hit
88.
already today, 88. It's a finish us dart players do life, so treble 20. And it gives him the opportunity of playing with a bullseye now.
49. Scott, you require
And so this is
60.
for the break for Scott Williams. Double 8 to put him one away. Nice enough marker. And that's come in and out of the double.
8.
And that's gone the other side. Could that be a game-changing moment as Dennant returns to 39
You require
for
39.
hold of throw when his darts has been under the most severest of threats?
You do need that bit of luck, and he's got that double 16.
Game's on the 5th
You
leg.
don't care
Matt
exactly
Dennant.
what Scott does there. He just focused on the job, the 39 finish. He does it in 2 darts. He wins his throw once again by hook or by crook.
Sig Leggett,
He
Scott
got
to
there
throw
and
first.
he's leading 3-2.
Game on.
Scott Williams is just going to have to shake that off, move it away, put it to the back of his mind, because that did go in and out of the double, and maybe the long points didn't help him on that particular occasion.
Absolutely. Pros and cons of everything, and like I say, it's how he reacts from that. He has been the better player. The stats will tell you that. But it's Matt who's leading.
54.
And in a group like this, every point counts. Every win counts. And Matt will probably be feeling very...
95.
He's lucky to be in front now, but he doesn't care. And he knows he's got the dart in the last leg as well. That's always the beauty of this kind of leg. It feels like it doesn't matter if I lose this one. You know, in the last leg, I've
100.
got them darts there. So he's on a bit of a free roll.
However, you don't want to be giving this man any confidence. I mean, he's confident enough as it is.
100.
It's controlled confidence. That's what I've learned about Scott tonight. It's controlled. He's not as brash as as they expected him to be.
60.
And it's just nice to sort of get to know him a little bit different. And yeah, but with that type of throw there, he can go as far as he wants to. It's about hard work and dedication.
100.
Making sure he's just getting his practice and getting his experience right. And he seems to be doing everything like that correctly.
59.
146 to make it 3-3.
146.
Well, both players are using the 19s more than anybody, so this is an opportunity. Trying to read these players today.
90.
You surprised he went that way?
I am surprised, but it did leave 74 the last one, and so by getting a couple of treble 20s, I mean they're all thinking of finishing now.
58.
Sets up something
He's got your
interesting if he
required
does
56.
sort of miss there, but you don't expect him to miss these types. The old Merv King way.
Game shot on the 6th flag.
And incredibly, and
Scott
obviously,
Williams.
it's another 3-3 game. It's just, might as well just go at the bookies and put 4-3 in every single match, but that's quality double 2 there.
7th and final leg,
Set
it's
it
Matt
up
to throw
absolutely
first.
beautifully. And it's Matty's dad. Matt
Game
will be just
on.
thinking, just give me a 15 data. If you want to beat me, Scott, go on into 12 data.
Shall we pop a sleeping bag in the commentary box?
It's hard work, isn't it?
93.
4-3, 3-4, 4-3.
I promise you, this doesn't happen every session, but we like this to happen every session because you get close games, quality darts, just like that.
You don't mind when it's 4-3s when you're seeing darts like we're seeing tonight. He's back averaging over just shy of 97 now is Scott.
94.
Dare I dream of my 9 data? Dare I dream?
Carry on. Dream on.
140.
Look away, Scott. That's twice now.
You can blink and miss it because Binks won't miss it. Our referee today.
Both so proficient on that treble 19 that they've both been a joy on that. Now this is where it's really nitty gritty time there. But he's left himself a 2 dart finish. Matty will be just thinking, give me a ton. 140 be beautiful.
He'd love another one of them, and it's set up plumb for it. And the 85 for Scott Williams has to go to put the curtain down on a fantastic game here. 1 dart at the bullseye.
Matt, you require 40.
And what a fantastic opportunity, Matt. If he stood there behind saying, don't shout. He's got 3 darts at double top for the match. Big 2 points, big dart.
No score.
And he's not up to the job.
Scott, you require 25.
So Williams wants 25 now. 2 sixes to win the match by Scott 4 legs to 3. A quality encounter once again. Scott Williams wins it with the most unconventional 25 you will see this week, with an average of 96.03. 4 maximum to his name. This group really is coming up to the boil early on. He'll want to work out or check out the checkout percentages because you might want to work on that. 4 from 16, 25%, and a high checkout of 106. But for Scott Williams, he is now 2 from 2 at the beginning of Group B. Is he beginning to emerge as the man to beat? We're going to find out as the night goes on. When we return after this short break, it's going to be match 4 of our night as Nathan Girvan takes on Colin Osborne.
welcome back to the MODUS Super Series, where we've just seen Scott Williams come through another last leg decider, having to survive even more match darts in that one from Matt Dennant. There you can see the average is 96 for Scott Williams in that one. We really did hype this group up at the start of the night, and it is not disappointing at all. All 5 players giving a great account of themselves so far. There we can see the table. It is Scott Williams on 4 points after 2 games. Colin Osborne, of course, has the opportunity to join him in our next match. These 2 players, Colin Osborne and Nathan Girvan, have met on the Challenge Tour a few times. Colin Osborne coming out the winner in all of those. In fact, Nathan just taking 3 legs off Colin in those 3 matches. Can he get 4 tonight and get the win over Colin Osborne? What do you think, lads?
Thank you very much, Abby. And it will be interesting to see how Nathan Girvan responds in this one up against a Colin Osborne who averaged 97.7 in that opening 4-1 win against Sebastian Bialecki. 4 out of 5 on the doubles and 3 180s. There was not much not to like from that performance. And for Nathan Girvan, he'll want to get a victory quickly, because I just sense the first win for him in this group is important because of what happened yesterday.
I'm just thinking now, who's going to win the match 4-3? Is it going to be Colin or is it going to be Nathan? Does he just feel like every game right now is just going to go all the way? And when you see these 2 types of players, it's very potential it can go all that way. But yeah, it's more of a big a match for Nathan rather than Colin. He needs to get himself on the board. I mean, his last 5 matches now in the Super Series, he has lost 4 of them. And he probably needs that catalyst now, really, to sort of.
First leg, it's Nathan to throw.
There'd be no better way than have beaten the Wizard.
Game on.
So then after this, 4 of the 5 players would have.
57.
Well, 3 of the 5 players would have played 2 matches. They would have been halfway through their evening, and then we'll reach the halfway point in Game 5 when Sebastian Bialecki takes on Matt Dennant.
60.
I'm finding it interesting how quiet the practice room is compared to this afternoon. 5 totally different characters tonight. Seems a lot more focused. And it's no surprise that, you know, some of the average that we're getting tonight has been absolutely staggering.
Speaking to 1 or 2 of the lads in that practice room before the session got underway, and they all know the quality that's on show this evening. They've all been very open in their appraisal of this field this evening. They know that they've got to be right at it tonight, and I think there's a real focus because of that.
Yeah, there's like a lot of respect, isn't there? I know we've already talked about the sort of Scott Williams and what he's been saying, but it's just a nice feeling when you go in there. This afternoon was more joyous and big characters.
60.
And, you know, tonight it just seems like it feels like a PDC TV tournament backstage. You know, everyone just sort of doing their own thing in a respectable way.
60.
Could you imagine Scott Williams against Aaron Monk here on Saturday night?
I'd like to see Aaron or even, you know, JK, Kellen. Both can bring crowds as well because they both live locally. I think if we can get their audience pretty full, I'm looking forward to Saturday night. I am, but I'm like a kid in a sweet shop this week.
Dartshop.tv, the place to go to claim your free tickets as well for Saturday night at the darts here at the Modus Live Lounge in Portsmouth, as Nathan Girvan leads 52 after 15 to win the opening leg with throw here against Osborne.
Half the job is done here for Nathan. That was a lovely setup. You don't think Colin's going to miss the 81, and his mindset now should be nothing but double 16.
Game shot on the first leg.
These are the opportunities, and this time he takes it. These are the opportunities that will make the difference between winning and losing this match. And it just, once again, using that word, that maturity.
Second leg, it's Colin
it hasn't been going his way.
Game on.
But he's not frightened. I'm just looking at his demeanour now. It's good. He's focused. He's confident. And he's held his throw there. And his focus now is time to break Colin and really sort of use this game to drive this tournament forward for himself, because he's right in the mix still.
Because Colin won't give anything away. Very good poker face. Every now and then, if he's a little bit frustrated, you may get the odd bit here and there from him, but keeps himself very level. He's
from Middlesbrough anyway, so he won't be giving too much away. He's nearly as tight as me.
41.
I tell you what I like about Nathan's throw. It's the way he's pulling the dart back, and I've got a funny feeling that could be the Chris Mason sort of effect, and that's what he's been working with. Obviously, when I played with him and seen him play, his throw is like a million times better as he's grown, as he got taller. But this little section there, it's so much smoother than when I last saw Nathan playing, and I think that's the reason why he's
128.
he's scoring and playing like he is. He's impressed me.
I mentioned to Chris Murphy earlier on in the week that his action to me feels very similar to that of Nathan Aspinall.
Yeah, I think it's a little bit smoother than when I saw Nathan playing on, I think, the Monday or the Tuesday when he was really exceptional. He was
92.
really smooth. There was no jerkiness, whereas Nathan Aspinall has got that little jump the way he goes there. That treble four was a handy little miss there, wasn't it? That sets up the big fish just for me. He
140.
just stuck his head in here and said, I will check out in a big 170 for you here, Glenn, but you owe me one large hotshot par more. So come on, can you do it, Mr. Wizard? No, you can't. And for the second time in this match, Nathan's left himself 52. Will it be the same outcome? First dart, yes.
Game shot on the second
dart,
left.
also yes.
Nathan
This is a great start for the young man. Exactly what he wanted. Keeps himself right in the mix of this very, very tight group.
So it's Nathan to throw first.
Because 3 from 5 are going through, each win is doubly important tonight.
And the sheer focus on his face is something to be admired. Every now and then you see that little bit of frustration from him or the elation when he wins legs, but he's kept himself very level in this match. It's very business-like from Girvan.
19-year-old. 19-year-old. The talent that's out there right now, it's insane, and he's right in the mix.
57.
I mean, if you could put the best 12 eligible players together for a week here, that's that next-gen level, you're going to see some wicked talents.
Yeah, but Nathan would go deep in that. I feel confident. You know, against many of the young players. Obviously, Luke Little is another one of the target lads as well, who was playing in the pentathlon today, and he was leading, going halfway through. Did he win it? Well, there's another prestigious young talent, and he's probably one of the best teenagers I've ever seen. I remember seeing Michael van Gerwen very young. I think it was in the Finland Open or Norway, somewhere like that, a 14, 15-year-old, and Luke reminds me, Leighton Bennett was a real talent. Bo Greaves, you know, them players, these young players coming through. But Nathan, I'd put him up against anyone on his day.
And if Luke is superstitious, Neil Duff won that title last year. I think he won an event in April somewhere, didn't he?
91.
Yes, only good players ever win that, you know.
You ever play in that, Glenn?
Did I play in it? I'm like Uncle Albert. I never like to talk about it.
During the leg side.
You require 170.
So come on, 170 finish. This is exactly the type of finish I want to see today. But won't surprise me to see that.
96.
134. But he set it up nicely.
Colin, you require 101.
The wizard really needs to get back. So it's either going to be treble 20 or treble 19. We've all got our ways on this one. He's gone very traditional, treble 19. And you can see Nathan's licking his lips behind. Colin won't be rushed for him. That's the experience there. He won't be rushed for anybody.
45.
But Nathan will be feeling good. He's at 252 finishes. He'd be feeling very confident at his 74.
The bullseye.
49.
It wasn't far away for 3-0, and so Osborne returns for 56, similar to the range that Nathan Girvan has been finishing in this match. For a break back and to make it 2-1.
And it's been all about that first dart with many of the players.
Game shot on the third.
Usually when that first dart goes in, it's been key, and they're not sort of missing the doubles. Colin is on 100%, 1 out of 1, and Nathan's on a very acceptable 50%.
Colin to
the
throw
doubles have been great by all the players
on
tonight, I must say. What do you think of another 4-3 then?
Inevitable.
85.
You can see the frustration on that last start. There's nothing worse when you're Your first dart is plumb treble 20, and you don't get a 3-figure score there.
60.
Oh, no, what that feels like, Glenn. And of course, you can have a bet on all 10 games this evening, but if you are 18 plus, begambleaware.org. When the fun stops, stop. Very important message.
100.
He's just quietly going on his business, is Nathan here. Colin's got some work to do in this leg. But work that he does.
180.
Another 180 there. He hit 3 in his last game. That's his 4th of the night. Just what the doctor ordered at this stage of the game.
100.
Well, that third dart was a squeezer.
We talked an awful lot about the importance of this 4th leg, and it's exactly what's going on. So it's either treble 17 or treble 13.
93.
Right play with Girvan back on 2-4-1. So 58 now for Osborne. These finishes in around the 50s have been a very popular mark for the players thus far.
There's been a 52 twice, a 56, and now we've got a 58. But once again, it's over that first dart, plumb in the middle. You would expect this to go in, and that's exactly what both players are doing there. The clutch finishing of both have been absolutely fantastic in this match. And Colin's average on the checkout is still on that 100%.
5th leg, it's Nathan to throw first.
And both players look so comfortable on throw. Those are the averages on your screen now. 90.87 for Girvan, 88.28 for Colin Osborne, having hit the game's only maximum.
We should have just started off at 3 each. You know, let's cut out the middleman.
100.
Another great shot. I like that side view with the players' throws there.
180.
This little thing with his fingers there, and you just felt that another maximum was coming there, and that's it's just a great feeling when the way they're sitting, the way they're going in, and it's just at the right time. We've talked about an awful lot about timing, and that's his first 180 of this.
100.
He's found the flow here, Nathan Girvan. The last leg and a half, he's upped it. Even though Osborne won the last leg, something has clicked. He's flicked the switch.
You just feel he's a real momentum player, don't you? And that 180 was just a real catalyst once again for him. And
180, 130.
It's like hundreds are not enough here for Colin. He's playing lovely, 9 darts to 01. He's up and against an inspired. What would you do here?
90.
It's a good thinking. 19-year-old. That is so clever because he probably wanted to go a big 20, but there was also the option there that he could pop into a deflected treble 20.
Osborne heads downstairs, down to treble 19 with the treble 20 bed obscured.
Nathan,
but he's left himself 159. That's a criminal error. Girvan returns to tops.
Game
there it is, a 3-2. And he's a leg away, but Colin Osborne was lucky that that actually went in. Otherwise, he would have been left on 159.
Super leg, it's Colin to throw first. Game on.
So we know it's 3-2 now, so we know exactly what's going to happen in this leg now. And a wonderful start here from the Wizard.
180.
Satisfying start of a 180. 3-2 down, you can't do any more than that. Nathan probably will already be thinking of the last leg.
62.
I'm saying nothing. I am saying absolutely nothing.
180.
Get in there, come on, Ozzy, come on, son. No bias, Glenn, no bias. Stay cool,
140.
Glenn. Stay cool.
Colin, you're back on 141.
Stay cool, Glenn. But come on, Wizard. Come on. Oh. Glad you left T-side now. T-side number 3.
How many T-side ranking points would he have won for the 9 darter, incidentally?
I would have let him have one of my 214 trophies.
99.
It's really
Colin, you
important. Now he's got
require
6
84.
darts and 84. We knew it was going to go 4-3 anyway. Treble 20 or treble 16 is the shot because he's on 64. He got the 16s and a big 16 will leave tops.
44.
So he's set. He's done everything right that he need to do in this leg now. Now he just has to put the dart away. Not a lot of pressure coming back
86.
there apart from that last
Colin, you
dart
require
there.
40.
Osborne's a big favourite for this leg now. He's 3 darts at tops. He's bent the wire there. He has bent the wire. It
20.
probably done him no favours being so close to tops
Nathan, you
there.
require
And
140.
these are the kind of finishes that us dart players like it. I would normally say it'd be a treble 20 start, but these players today have been all over the place. And what a start that is, Henry.
Tops of the match.
I think you spoke too loud there, Henry.
74.
Did you fancy that?
Colin, you require
I
20.
did.
I fancied it,
Yeah, I
yes.
fancied that. But this is no gimme. Under the pressure he's under now, it's a must hit. And nobody likes double 5. Nobody. And he's bent that wire again.
10.
He bent that. That's twice in this leg. He's bent the wire.
Nathan,
and
you
that is the
require
difference
40.
between taking it all the way. Nathan is stood back there now, nice and composed. Tops for the match. The 2 points on the board. Double 10. And what a finish that is for a fantastic match.
Girvan.
Absolutely delighted there for Nathan. He apologises, don't ever do that. But the respect on the stage there between them. A lovely 91.91 average for Nathan. He's a 180 during the game and a 40% check out there. Both players will probably go off the stage there really happy. Both are in this competition. And next up, we've got Sebastian Bialecki against Matty Dennant.
Welcome back to the live lounge here in Portsmouth, where we've just seen another fantastic contest. Nathan Girvan picking up his first 2 points of the evening in Group B. A 4-2 victory over Colin Osborne in that one. He's been impressive in both of his games so far. There we see another average in excess of 90. Of course, Girvan, the only player so far to average in excess of a ton this week. He took out 4 of his 10 attempts at double in that match, and we can see what that's done to the league table with him picking up his first win of the evening. He's on 2 points. Scott Williams, of course, is still our leader on 4 points. Sebastian Bialecki and Matt Dennant, the 2 players yet to pick up a victory. And without wanting to make too bold a prediction, given that they're playing each other in the next match, I'm going to say that one of them will get their first victory of the evening. Of course, Matt Dennant missing match darts to beat Scott Williams in his opener. He needs to forget about that now. That's why I'm speaking a little bit quieter, because he is stood just behind me on the stage. So let's hand over to Henry and to Glenn to guide us through this one.
Thank you, Abby. As you say, one player will get off the mark following the end of this game as Sebastian Bialecki takes on Matt Dennant. Bialecki, who finished 3rd in Group A earlier on this week, up against Dennant, who began his campaign with a 4-3 defeat to Scott Williams in that fantastic game a couple of matches ago. So he hasn't had too long to think about that defeat and get himself ready for this one, but that might actually be a good thing, Glenn.
Yeah, you would think Matt is coming into this game feeling a little bit better than Sebastian, who's certainly not at his high-level game right now. And like I said, Matty had a tremendous game and opening up fantastically well already.
180.
What a night of darts has been so far. Unbelievable.
You literally cannot get a better start than that without sounding Alan Partridge.
We did talk about Sebastian sort of off air, where he's very capable of a 96, 97 average, but he's also got that dip in his leg.
Oh, it was in the treble as well, that second dart.
Let him have the dart back. Just press rewind and let him have it back. It's impressive still.
75.
There's someone with a hammer behind that board.
I guarantee that is a dartboard and not a trampoline.
3 darts in the board, gets a coconut. 60. And that's exactly what Matty's got there. Needs that treble 20.
59. Mate, you've got 141.
6 darts from 141.
Doesn't have to move. Well, he might decide to now.
I think a lot of players in that position, Henry, would have maybe utilised the bullseye there, sort of just play the percentages. I'm not really sure where that first dart went. I'm beginning to worry about Sebastian there, but that's a lovely sort of recovery.
Game shot on the first leg.
Superb finishing tonight, aren't we? Absolute quality. The last game was all about that clutch 2-dart finishing, but it's a great feeling when you're on 94. He went aggressive. He went the treble 18 route, and he was rewarded there to take the lead in this game, and more importantly, a break a throw.
He just looks so assured, doesn't he, Matt Dennant? Looks so comfortable on that stage. And perhaps without disrespect, he would have been one of those players who's played a lot in Pro Tour environments, Challenge Tour environments, played in the old room in Southampton, maybe not played on the stage so much. So we're wondering how he's going to adapt to this environment when he's taken to it like a duck to water.
You've got to take whatever positives you've got. You know, and he's been here before, and you feel like Sebastian's sort of in a different world right now. But let me tell everybody who's watching here that Sebastian Bialecki is a fabulous player. 9 darted at the UK Open, a quarter-final this year. You know, the guy can play darts. That's why all so strong this field tonight.
As I mentioned earlier on this evening, Scott Williams, who's a Pro Tour winner this year, is on his second chance, his last chance to qualify. He was involved earlier on in this phase and didn't qualify.
He had to stay there because the opportunity of a finish there, but you can see he was trying to bully his way through 2 darts, but it's big advantage now to Dennant.
121.
Could we have called that his third if that went in because of the phantom dart?
Why not? We can call anything we want, but that's a lovely second dart there.
Require 89.
But this is what it's all been about, this 89, these finishes around there, but it looks like he's going to be using the bullseye.
64.
And what does he
Sebastian,
leave?
require 110.
How many times have I said that today? But this 110, Scott Williams made it look so easy earlier on today. That's a strange way of going.
Game shot
But it's
the
effective.
second leg.
It gets him on the board.
Sebastian Bialecki.
Now he'll be feeling really good about himself and levels up at 1-1.
And a breaker throw as well, where Matt Dennant was looking to potentially solidify things in this match. And despite the early dominance on Dennant, we are back level at 1 apiece. Thanks to that fantastic finish from Bialecki. And those are the averages, a 7-point disparity.
I'm pleased for Sebastian there, and I really expected him to kick on there. I'm really surprised to see him open up with a 43 there. But like it usually happens, the person follow does exactly the same. Someone can really get a grip of this game right now. And he's the 1-3-4 that I've seen so many times today.
134.
Staggering amount. Just play on the treble 19, boys.
100.
What a feeling. Sorry, Henry, what a feeling it is when you score 100 with your last dart compared to 100 with your first dart. It's you walk
90.
away considering it's the same score. And similar to that there, I mean, them 3 darts were swayed all over, but that last dart just snuck into the treble 20. And sometimes you just feel maybe it's my day now.
125.
Since that these are crucial visits, someone can really take a stranglehold of this game.
41.
And I feel like despite everything that Dennant did well in the first couple of legs, the game is now an even kilter.
You're right. It's a pivotal moment, but you have it, you have it, you have it. They're both getting opportunities, but they're not taking them. That would have been a good opportunity to say to me, to you there, but
97.
it's a much better last dart. Leaves a 2-dart finish for Bialecki. There's pressure on this score right now. So much pressure, he drops his dart.
58. Sebastian, you require 96.
Let's see, we might even get the double-double again. No need. Double 18 and take a 2-1 lead.
Game shot on the third leg.
Right in the middle of double
Bialecki.
18 there. Exactly what he wanted. And look at the bounce in his step as he goes back there. Instead of the head down, the head's up now. A sip of water, he's feeling good about himself.
Game on.
It was just a holder throw. But now we'll be sat there thinking it's that 4th leg, the one we've talked about so much all day today, how important this 4th leg can be, the difference between 2-2 and 3-1. And he's got the opportunity because that's a poor start once again from Matty.
And we're seeing a spring in the step from Bialecki, which perhaps we didn't see in that opening game, the 4-1 defeat to Colin Osborne.
$59.
You feel like Ratajski has sort of opened the door for these Polish players coming through now. It's, you know, when you go to Poland, when you go to Romania, Hungary, and obviously the Germanys of this world, it's so exciting to play dart over there. I had a wonderful time at the Poland Open, and so many players are coming through thanks to people like Christoph.
Right in saying they have a tournament out there called the Police Masters.
Yeah, I've got the trophy in the house. Yeah, more important, it was 70 pence. 70 pence a pint, and the strongest pint. I arrived late. I had 2 pints. I think it felt like I'd woke up after having a skinful. That's where I remember the Polish Open. Don't drink the beer.
I tried to cash in a check actually at the Police Masters. They wouldn't give me the bill.
The bum, liking it. For the attention of Matt Edgar, you're right. His puns are terrible.
Apparently, the production team have actually got a pun on Scott Williams, who's nicknamed Shaggy, but it wasn't me.
$100. Sebastian, you require 100.
108. What do you think on the 19s again?
You'd think so, wouldn't you? Needs to find a way to claw it into the treble 19.
Game shot on the fourth leg.
And it found its way into the treble, and it found its way into the double, and Sebastian Bialecki opens up a 3-1 lead over Matt Dennant, and now he has the throw for a 4-1 win. And who would have thought this midway through the second leg?
Game on.
Yeah, he took real control, but couldn't just see there if that second treble 19 was in, but the finish of the double 16 it was clinical. And he looks a different player. Just the whole demeanour of him. Look at the bounce in that step now. His head was down earlier, and all of a sudden he's averaging, like you said, he's well capable of averaging mid-90s, and he's beginning to show his form. None of us really tipped him to get through this group. He's quite, like I say, he's quite shy backstage. He just does his own thing. He's beginning to show what he's all about.
58.
Matt Dennant with it all to do here.
135.
That'll help. He's got to break twice here to secure the win.
Both players could start on the 19s here. 3-0, 3-2, 3-1 is sort of conducive to go and dart. And that does leave the 170 finish. And the 2-3-1. It's gone the old-fashioned route. And why not when you can throw darts like that? Absolutely fantastic. But what a way this would be to take the match.
So Dennant will return for 3-2. And what a camera angle that was as well of that maximum.
95, Matt, you require 51.
So 51 for the break. The first of two he needs. Double 16
90.
is not there. And Bialecki returns.
Requires 75.
75 for the match.
Treble 17 would be the dart. Double 12. Oh, ouch. Double 3 down the bottom of the board. Take your time, Sebastian. Make sure you know what you're going for. Eyes on the prize.
69.
I mean, I never talk about it, but I did win a lakeside once on double 3. But like Uncle Albert, I never talk about it. Double 16 to bring Matty back into this game. A game after the first leg, he looked like he was in total control, but now he seems to be fighting with himself now. The angle's changed here.
Game shot on the fifth leg.
What a dart that is. I bet that dart was thrown from over 8 foot. And it brings him back to the old classic 4-3s on its way. Just what the doctor ordered
it's
there
Matt to throw first.
And it's his darts now. He needed 2 breaks in 3 legs of darts. He's done the first part. Second part now is to hold your own.
Shall we go and get some food? Because we know that Matt Dennant's going to win this leg and it's going to be 3-3.
I've told you earlier, let's just make it a 1-dart shootout, everyone.
Sebastian Bialecki will have other ideas, and that turn start will give him a head start in this leg.
$100.
The incredible change has been the body language of Sebastian. It looks like he's beginning to enjoy this experience now. He probably knew he was up against 4 real top players. But
140.
And he just looks a much better player. It looked like a bit like someone walking into the lion's den as he walked in tonight, but all of a sudden we're seeing the best of him. And it's advantage Sebastian here. He does need that treble.
And the problem is, the bed is obscured.
97.
But what a lovely reset. And I know I keep sort of repeating myself, and I like to see dart players just have a little think. But Matt is not going to give him anything without a fight.
100. Sebastian, you rock 164.
But it's 6 darts, Henry, from 164.
For the match.
57.
How many times have we said today, when you've got that setup there, that all of a sudden them trebles can shrink when you don't want them to? Fighting with himself, which usually means he's at the treble.
60. Sebastian, you require 107.
So 107 for Bialecki to secure the 2 points to get him off the mark in the group. 68 remains.
59.
Stays there, looking to lead double 4. 48 should he return. Dennant wants 1-2-4.
You feel like he has to get this. Bullseye.
99. Sebastian,
so Bialecki returns for the match, wanting 48.
Let's see what the young man's made of.
2 16s for Bialecki to secure the victory by 4 legs to 2. And he is off the mark in Group B. Only Matt Dennant now yet to pick up a victory. Every single player playing 2 matches, but let's sum up the tale of the tape in this one. It was Dennant who got up to a flying start, but Bialecki kept him at bay. And then in the end, motored towards the finishing line with an average of 91.74. It was Dennant who got the 2 maximums in that match. 4 from 7 on the checkouts for Bialecki compared to Dennant's 2 from 9. And that high checkout, of course, of 110. 2-ton pluses from the pole in that game. We're going to take a short break. Upon our return, it's Scott Williams who is looking to make it 3 wins from 3. 6 points from 6. It could be a Super 6 if he can get past the wizard, Colin Osborne.
Hello and welcome back to the MODUS Super Series, where Sebastian Bialecki has just got his first victory of the evening. Glenn Durrant with me to reflect on that. We can see the stats on the screen there. Significant 110 checkout, the 108 as well. But I've got a feeling the 48 for him to win that match pleased you just as much.
I'm really pleased for Sebastian. It's a tough school. And he's, like I say, he's quite reserved, he's quite shy. He's sort of sat in the corner in the practice room. And I knew there was something inside of him bursting to get out tonight. And, you know, when he went 1-0 down, I thought the writing was on the wall. So I was really pleased, and the 48 was pretty clinical.
And 57% checkout success as well. That's more clinical than we've seen from him so far this week. That'll give him a lot of confidence.
The finishing generally from the the morning afternoon session to tonight has been night and day. There's been some quality darts tonight.
Yeah, and we can have a look at the table now, see what that does to the league standings. Of course, it is still Scott Williams who's up next. He has the opportunity to extend his advantage at the top of the table. He's up against your good pal Colin Osborne. You've just been shouting a few words down to him, haven't you? He was pretending he couldn't hear you.
It is. It's going to be a great game. It's the top three. The three I said would get out of this group. I mean, Scott is a special player. There's no hiding that. Colin will be using his nous, his experience to get him through this game. This is a big 2 points for the Wizard if he can get this. But Scott looks like he's in pretty formidable form right now, and it'll take something to beat him right now.
He does look like he's in superb form, but players have had match darts to beat him so far this evening. That is encouragement for people who are facing him.
The standard's been great, but his performance hasn't dipped. He's right. He's peppering that 100 average mark. Sometimes they dip near the end because of a couple of missed doubles, but everybody seems to be on their game tonight. It's been great, like to say, to be up close and personal and seeing them. Every dart that they're throwing, the mannerisms, the body language. Yeah, it's been a great night so far.
Absolutely, a superb standard of darts this evening. Will this match follow suit? Let's find out in the company of Henry and this chap when he legs it down.
Thank you very much, Abby. Now, what would you usually be watching on a Thursday night at 11:45? QVC? Question time? This is much better. This is going to be a class affair here between Scott Williams and Colin Osborne. Here we go. The 32-year-old Scott Williams from Boston, Lincolnshire, we must add. I know it's been an international flavour this week at the Super Series, but he's up against the man from Middlesbrough, Colin Osborne, the 47-year-old Wizard. 7-time PDC event winner.
Okay, first leg, it's Scott to throw first. Game on.
So Scott Williams gets us underway then in game 6 of our evening.
100.
And Dozer has made the run down from the studio to the box just in time.
My Fitbit's just gone 10,000 steps today, so it's not too bad considering a commentary box, that's for sure.
180.
What's a start from the Teessider?
The way these two are playing, this could be match of the night.
180.
We've said that for every single game that we've played tonight because that's the quality, the standard that's out there. But what an opening from both players here.
Following up. But not again.
100.
I think he's done that a couple of times tonight. The 180 followed by the 140s, the tons. 2-2-1 after 6 darts. Both players have come out the traps.
50.
Your fellow Teessider is teasing us, Glenn, this evening with this 9.
Well, boom.
I'm here all week, unfortunately for you.
He's just looking really good. And this is how he started the first game of the night, Colin. He's using everything that he's got the experience of being at the very, very top of the game.
Scott, you reckon 100.
But he said, I'm not giving up. He said, I'm going to find a new way how I want to play. And he's coming back and he's fighting and fighting. And he's up against a sensational talent here in Scott Williams.
The Castley approach. Never going to give you up.
That's the one.
Hopefully he won't let us down. 666. And he may turn around, the leg may desert him.
Scott, you require
You
100.
see the frustration because he's playing Scott Williams. Scott Williams has already checked out in 100 today. Which way is he going to go? He went the same as he did earlier. And the only thing you worry about here is not to
Colin, you
break
require
out.
6.
3-3, does he go straight for it? Or does he go for the 2-2-2 option?
Game shot on the first leg.
Did I tell you
Colin
once on the leg
Osborne.
side with that? The TTT sider is following my footsteps there with a 3-3. I quite like that double. And it looks like Aussie does
Second
as
leg, it's
well.
Colin to throw
Terrific start,
first.
already
Game
averaging
on.
115.
So the free-sider for the TTT-sider.
These puns are coming now, guys. These puns. He's here all week.
They're getting markedly worse, that's the problem.
45.
You can tell we're getting close to the early hours now. It's been a long day, everyone.
It's been good fun, good darting fun, and a great evening's action here at the Super Series.
57.
Colin would be delighted to hear that, even though he started off quite poorly there. You don't want to hear Scott with his big scoring, so you know Scott's going to score. So Colin can't. He's set a benchmark now. You can't dip under that because he's up against someone who's on the top of his game right now and going for a 3 out of 3.
And on 6 points, you put yourself virtually there early on. Well, you need probably one more win from there. If you win 4 from 4, you're through on night 1.
I think 8 points is going to be enough.
Well, mathematically, you can't not go through on 10.
This is the best I've seen Colin Osborne. Colin's been down for a lot of the Teesside competitions. I've been following his career on the Challenge Tour and some of the ADC stuff, which he's been doing as well. He seems to like that stage setup, that one-on-one, that gladiatorial battle between 2 people on a stage with a MC and all the cameras that are there. Sort of the best comes out of him because this is good stuff.
140.
I think that leaves him 81 once again.
And Scott Williams can do nothing in reply.
He's a long way. That didn't come out of his hand like he wanted to, but that certainly did.
100. Colin, you require 81.
Back to his favourite treble 19 now. He'll probably go treble 10 this time.
73.
I'm trying to sort of guess these players' finishes here, but that's actually not a bad way to go. So it's set him up nice. There's nothing at all that Scott can do right now apart from put some pressure on it.
171.
But Colin won't have even heard that. He hasn't taken his eyes off that double 4 now. And it's the same process, just replication. That's a great marker. Another wonderful marker. Can he bounce off them 2 darts?
Game
2-0 lead. Certainly can do.
Colin
will be feeling really good about himself. To be leading 2-0 against someone like Scott will be a good feeling for him. Exactly what he wanted.
It's Scott to throw first.
But it was only a hole to throw. Still nothing in this game.
It's restricted Scott Williams to 0 darts at double. Although if he carries on playing in that vein, that won't remain for much longer.
Just look at those averages. There's still nothing in it. Both playing, you know, like a B+ game here.
140.
There's that dart we've talked about. That first, that just underneath that treble 20 seems his favourite dart. That's changed over the years. That certainly has. You can see the frustration there.
80.
But how many times do you do that? You sort of throw that last dart with a little bit of anger. But once again, it's all about where that first dart goes, and they're sitting so nicely for him now. Could it be his second maximum?
140.
His 140 hitting has been absolutely superb. 5 now in the game.
Yeah, absolutely.
Averaging 103.95. Scott Williams himself just underneath the ton. And Osborne could actually do with another one of those 140s here.
I didn't expect the Wizard to sort of outscore Scott. But that's exactly what he's doing.
121.
And he's left the ton. But the 146. Curious way of going here of the 146. But it suits the way he plays. A lovely last start. That set her up nicely.
Colin, you require 100.
These are the type of finishes those dart players love. These are the type of finishes that will determine who wins these tussles. And what a dart there is. Double 10.
90.
He'd be frustrated now after such a wonderful first dart.
50.
To miss them 2 darts at a double, because I can't see Scott missing here.
Game shot on the third
and
leg.
so you were proved right. Colin Osborne had 2 darts for a 12-dart leg. They came and went, and Williams mopped up the pieces. He won that in 14 himself. But it's Osborne here who has the darts in leg 4 to open up a 2-leg buffer. And if he was to do so, would only need 1 more from this juncture. The averages are impressive. 104.16 for Osborne, 98.25 for Williams. A max apiece. Difficult to prize them apart.
How pivotal will that moment be, though? Could we be looking back at the end of this game at 2 darts to go 3-0 instead of 2-1? I mean, it's a huge difference. We could be looking back on that moment because Scott has not only finished there, he's already started the leg with another max. The T-side, he shows grit, he shows fight, he shows determination. He's using every bit of nous he's got on this dartboard to follow that maximum with his own.
96.
Quality game here.
Absolutely incredible stuff. Although you were involved in a cracker in your last comms appearance, if I remember rightly, up at the lakeside. Was it Richard Vainstra you did?
Yeah, I mean, when we talk about players with momentum, with rhythm, you know, once he gets going, reminds me of an Alex Small, reminds me of a Kurt Parry that, you know, the throws to die for. And when they get it right, they get it right. And yeah, he broke all the records that night. And Barney's legendary record at Lakeside, which I tried for so many times to beat it.
85.
What a lovely guy. What a lovely guy Richard Vainstra is.
Yeah, him and his wife Monique travel the circuit everywhere they go, and a really, really nice couple.
83.
It's a frustrating last dart, and a
Colin, you
big changer there. 140 would have left a 2-darter. You'd still probably make, especially with that dart, they would still make Osborne favourite here. Is it a treble 10 or is it a bullseye? Just depends how you feel as you go there.
87. Scott, you require 100.
I had a 2 and 3 chance there, and I still got it wrong. But he's left a 48 finish. Is he going to get a shot? I thought he was going to go bull 1 bull. Crazy dart at this
60.
stage. Crazy darts.
Colin, you
that was Scott Williams
48.
101, although it didn't go.
Crazy darts. I'm even going to say disrespectful darts. There was no need for that. I love characters, but he's up against a top-class player. But that could affect Colin. He could.
Game shot on the 4th flag. Colin Osborne.
And that could be a lesson there for Scott Williams there, that there's a time and a place. He's got it in abundance. The blind 180 was enough for me to show his character tonight.
Scott to throw first.
To go bull 1 bull. That's exhibition time, if you ask me. But you are talking about boring, does it?
140.
Cup of Horlicks later.
Absolutely.
However you're tuning in to us as we approach the midnight hour, thank you for joining us, whether it is with a cup of Horlicks or midnight snack, possibly. Hope you're enjoying the brilliant darts we have on offer for you.
It has been a fabulous night, hasn't it? It's been a fabulous session.
96.
Apologies for my frustrations there, but you can see how well the lad is playing. You hit a bull there, you've got a chance then to make a 2 each.
140.
I'd love to know Colin Osborne's thoughts, what his thought process was as Scott was doing. I don't even know if he was looking at the board. These guys on the treble 19 tonight have been absolutely superb. That's another 171. 303 again, so he'll be staying there in the 19s also. Is there a magnet in that treble 19?
98.
Begging for mercy.
94.
94 for 3-2 then for Scott Williams. A potential 11-dart leg here. He's going to go bull tops. You just knew it was going to happen, but it doesn't quite go.
What a talented man he is. What an absolutely talented player Scott Williams is.
So double 10 for 13-dart leg to
96.
bring him back into the game
20.
at 3-2. Lovely marker. That one's awkward. Has to move across.
No score.
Will Osborne go bull 9 bull?
That's
exactly what I would do in this situation. The dart he was looking for. And for the match, a huge 2 points for Colin Osborne.
89.
And so Williams gets another chance at double 10. It may well be his last. 2 5s.
Game shot on the 5th
to stay alive. And Scott Williams still is in this game, but Colin Osborne now has the throw for a match to seal the victory over Scott Williams. It would put him on to 4 points and would stop Scott from streaking clear. What a perfect lie that first dart was.
121.
You thought a max there would have been inevitable.
You did. He's had quite a few tonight with the first 3 darts, but he would have took 1-2-1 as he approached the hockey. But there's the magnet with that treble 19 where they're just smashing it to pieces. We'll need a board change after this on that treble 19. And that's the way his game is. There's that treble 19 once again, but that's the way the game has changed.
80.
The Colin Osborne, I remember, he loved the dart just sat above the treble 20. There's not a lot can go wrong with Scott's throw, that's for sure.
93.
Solid as an absolute rock. Just 26 points in this leg. That's not going to do him a great deal of favours. He needs a treble.
42.
Would that be a big, big turning point in this match?
$58.
That could. Most definitely. It hands the initiative to Osborne.
What would he give for a 140 right now? What would he give for a 140 right now?
100.
Tom puts him on a finish, but Williams may have wrestled the darts if he can get a couple of triples here. And that first dart on the treble 19 is plumb. And he was always inviting a second alongside it.
And
so 82 after 12. If he gets a chance, Colin Osborne, 158 for the match. Another 2 19s to win in style. Absolutely incredible. What a way to win it from Colin Osborne with a 158 finish, with Scott Williams sat on 82 to take us to a decider. And just marvel over those statistics. 98.11 Osborne, 96.17 Williams, 2 maxes apiece, 4 from 13, 2 from 8 on the doubles. And that 158 checkout to seal the match for Colin Osborne. He halts the charge of Scott Williams. He will stay on 4 points. And when we return after the break, one of Sebastian Bialecki and Nathan Girvan will join them on that figure.
Welcome back to the live lounge here in Portsmouth, where we've just seen an outstanding performance from Osborne to get his second win of the evening. There we can see an average in excess of 98 from him, condemning the favourite to top the group, Scott Williams, to his first defeat of the evening. A sublime 158 checkout to get over the line in that one. We really have been treated to some superb darting action this evening already. And up next, we've got Nathan Girvan taking on Sebastian Bialecki. If we take a little look at the league table before we get into that one, of course, both players are on 2 points. This is a repeat of the last match in Group A, where Girvan had the opportunity to get his place in finals night if he'd been able to get the win over Bialecki. Bialecki coming through that one in the end. So who will come out on top in this clash this evening? Let's find out in the company of Glenn and Henry.
Thank you very much, Abby. And Nathan Girvan, he's going to have to put away the bad memories of this fixture yesterday. He won the battles on Monday and Tuesday, but the important one was game 15 of 15 on day 3 of Group A. Nathan Girvan needed a victory against Bialecki after Danny Lauby lost out in his final game of the session, but Bialecki came out a 4-2 victor in that and denied Girvan the opportunity to progress automatically through to Saturday night's final from Group A. But it's a new day, a new group, a fresh mindset, and both of these players are looking to make it on to 4 points.
140.
I think the question to be asked here is more about Sebastian. I think we know what we're going to get from Nathan in this game. He's looked pretty quality and solid all night, but there was a real step up by Sebastian in the last game, and compared to how he played in the first match. So I'm really keen to see if that progression continues. But yeah, this is a key game. You just feel if Nathan wins this, the sort of the group is really opening up that way. It's big once again. It's a big 2 points.
96.
And of course, we would like to see how Sebastian backs up that really good performance against Matthew Dennant. 91.74 average. 4 from 7 on the doubles.
He just turned a switch, didn't he? There was a marked change after when he was 1-0 down. I think we were both a little bit concerned for him there. But yeah, he just looked like a different player all of a sudden.
128.
However, this could be an opening now against the darts.
26.
Very much an opening against the darts. And so Bialecki out of nowhere gets 6 and 177 for the opening leg.
99.
This is sort of interesting. Obviously, it's getting past sort of midnight now, and I guess both players have the experience of playing on the Super Series 60. Now.
Sebastian, you require 78.
How you adapt to the different types of conditions now. He's this clinical finishing that we've sort of seen from most of the players tonight. Is it going to continue?
38. Nathan, you require 120.
And we've used the game changer analogy so many times today. And with Sebastian sat on tops, you really felt that Nathan
60.
needed that finish there.
Sebastian, you require 40.
And so tops to an opening leg breaker throw for Bialecki.
Game shot on the first
Just
leg.
as easy as that for
Sebastian
16 dart
Bialecki.
break.
He's looking good. He's looking strong. He's probably the one guy we didn't speak about as much as the other 4.
Second against Sebastian to throw first.
All wrong.
Game on.
He just looks actually the form player right now. He's has a big step up for him. Pleased for the lad.
59.
Makes me feel old watching these too. What's the combined age?
60.
37.
Does make me feel very, very old. This is what darts is all about. The Phil Taylors of this world have set up this incredible opportunity for people now. And like I say, the prizes that are out there, it's no surprise to me that so many young players coming through academies like Nathan's done. And to see, like I say, the best of Poland as well sort of coming through. You've got the effect that Krzysztof Potacki's had on a lot of these young players now. It's fascinating to watch. Fascinating to watch the progress.
If you add Owen Binks into the mix, there's a combined age between the three on the stage
180.
of 61. If you add in the commentator, it's 83.
94.
I'm just trying to work out the production team as well here backstage. So
You'll be here all night, Glenn.
yeah, the calculator only has 7 digits.
40. Sebastian, you require 68.
We've talked about these type of finishing, and all of a sudden I really fancy where I thought Sebastian had no chance.
52.
Sort of fancied him for that there.
Nathan, you require
The chances
96.
that momentum could have really kicked in. So is Nathan to get back into this match? Is it 2 doubles? Is it 2 doubles?
76.
And that
Sebastian, you
third
require
dart caught the
16.
flight of the first. We always knew it was going to be awkward, that last dart. So across for double 4 now for Bialecki, double 2.
40.
And he doesn't want to be messing about on the outer ring, and so
Nathan, you
Girvan
require
returns to
20.
double 10 to get the break back.
Nathan had the
No
opportunity
score.
there. The sort of luck went against him
Sebastian, you
yesterday when he
require
played
2.
Sebastian. And you put that on a plate there. Sebastian must go big first dart. But that's a perfect dart, actually. Just follow that one in. Even a deflection would be nice
No
here.
score.
Yeah, you can see the frustration there. And I like what Nathan's doing there. It's really, really sensible.
Nathan, you require 20.
Now the focus will be nothing but that double 10. It's incredible when you sit here with all these statistics around you,
James
how
on the
missed
second
doubles
leg.
affect
Nathan
averages.
Girvan.
You know, what was a mid-90s game for both players, it has really affected there. But that one bothered Nathan at one
Delegates
shot right now.
Nathan
He's
to
back
throw
in this
first.
match at 1 each. It's back on darts. It's back up with Nathan.
And it is so
81.
interesting, and we get a very lucky view that we have a fantastic system here at the Super Series, which logs every single dart in, and we've got a brilliant stat screen in front of us, and we get to see
140.
everything as live as every dart goes in, and we really do get a guide as to the story of the match as a result of it.
It's been a real eye-opener for me there. And
180.
just that 180 there alone. The first of the match, or the second for the match for Nathan there. And what a difference it has towards his averages there. That's why I try to say to people,
95.
the averages will come when you play well. Just learn to win the game first.
58.
Whole 1-0 to the Arsenal mentality.
Absolutely. Boring Arsenal. 2-6-6. We've seen this again many times. And that magnet in the treble 19, is it going to work? It
96.
certainly is.
Don't leave double 1.
That's a
Don't
glorious.
leave double 1.
Go for the 180.
130. Sebastian require
Here we go.
170.
This is my moment, Sebastian. Don't let me down. Don't let me down, Sebastian. You let me down.
134. Nathan, you require 52.
But this is fantastic. And he's that 52, which Nathan said a couple of times tonight.
James on the third leg.
And I think that's been the
Nathan
story
Girvan.
of tonight with a lot of the players. That 2-dart finishing for so many, round about that 52, 58, 56 mark.
Fourth leg, it's
And they've been
Sebastian to throw
absolutely
first.
clinical, all of them tonight. It's 40% checkout rate for Nathan. But Sebastian will be looking at his 1 in 9 as the big difference of why he's 2-1 down right now.
140.
And you mentioned this afternoon about those types of combination finishes being so crucial in
60.
determining and dictating matters in your own favour.
People would ring me, how many 180s have you did tonight, Glenn? I went out and practiced, how many 180s? How many 180s? Honestly, I was
100.
religiously 41 to 61. I wouldn't go to bed until I'd finished an 81 to 100. Because you've seen maybe me going on about it so much today.
100.
The importance of doubles for dough. You've seen how many times have we, the 25 finish, which I've bleated on about so much today. How many times the importance of finishing there. And I just want the players to incorporate that into the
180.
practice sessions. Because they can all hit 180s. I mean, like I say, Sebastian has just floated that one in there.
134.
But it's this bit
Sebastian,
here.
you require
I'm
81.
impressed with the 180. But if you can check on 81, I'll come on stage and shake your hand.
216s for 2-2, but he will return with Girvan back on 207.
$99.
So 2 8s for a 13 darter. And to level us up.
Game shot on the fourth
In a
leg.
game where you felt it should be 2 each right now. You know, he's just a little bit ahead in the averages there. Nothing in this game. I think 2-2 probably sums up where we should be
Nathan
after
to throw
4 legs here. Both players now best of 3. Huge 2 points on offer here. And that treble 19 is important more than ever right now.
96.
Lovely last start. To be feeling good about that.
I hope the treble 19's on commission tonight.
It's been incredible, hasn't it? I mean, even this afternoon, one of the the stories was the people's going downstairs and that 1-3-4 time and time again.
Oh, excellent first start. You just knew a max was going to be hit on the back of it. And what a time for a third max.
We've talked about the 19s there, but there's no better feeling in the world than that 180.
140.
And they're feeding off each other. 2 young lads battling. And that's what I get with Nathan. You just feel like when he gets on that run.
100.
I think I would have probably utilised the bullseye on the last start there, just to sort of play the percentages once again. But it hasn't been affected too much.
And you were 125.
It's still a huge advantage to Nathan Girvan.
Definitely will use the bullseye here.
The younger players are so good. That last start was key there.
Bullseye.
100.
That'd have been some recovery after slipping into the 15. Can Bialecki get the 167 for a breaker throw? Not on this occasion.
100.
And guess what it is again, Glenn?
You require 25.
Honestly, I know what I'm talking about. A lot of people say I won't. Big dart.
9. Sebastian, you require 65.
Expect him to sort of go around the bullseye here, but how many times you go for that 25 and hit the bull, but he hasn't. 2 darts, 2 big darts.
Game shot on the 5th.
He only needs the 1.
Sebastian Bialecki.
He's leading 3-2 now in this crucial game. It's a huge dart there. Nathan had his chance.
It's Sebastian to throw
Hands in his pocket there thinking,
Game
I really should be 3-2 up right now. But it's Sebastian who takes the lead with his darts and opens up with that beautiful treble 20.
140. 140.
This is quality. They're bouncing off each other now. It's beautiful to watch. Absolutely beautiful.
The standard in this game has been superb. The standard tonight has been absolutely superb. There's been at least 190+ average in every single game this evening.
60.
Compared to this afternoon session where I think it was one match where the 2 lads averaged over 90.
And they're the only 2 of the session.
Absolute night and day.
Literally.
92.
Big advantage now to Sebastian.
Sebastian 170.
I don't even think he'll go for the 170 even if he has the opportunity.
94.
What a last start. What a last start that is. Nathan's pretty helpless in this position. All he can do right now is at the 134.
134.
Which he does, but Bialecki will return for 76 for the match for a 4-2 victory, which would put him on to 4 points. 8 does it nicely for Sebastian Bialecki, who secures the 4-2 victory over Nathan Girvan, courtesy of that 8 on the back of a 76 finish with an average of 97.85. It really was a quality tungsten affair. Girvan himself averaging 90.43, 5 maximums in that match. 4 from 14 on the doubles for Bialecki, but it was that high out of 76 which secured him the victory, secured him the 2 points, and it puts him joint top of the table alongside Messrs Osborne and Williams. We're going to see Colin in action after the break as he takes on Matt Dennant, who's looking to be the last player to get points in Group B.
Hello and welcome back to the MODUS Super Series here at the Live Lounge in Portsmouth. We've got 3 games remaining for you in this evening session in Group B, but let's take a little look at what happened in our last match as Sebastian Bialecki got the better of Nathan Girvan yet again. A 4-2 victory for him, an average just shy of 98, and after an underwhelming start to the evening, but Bialecki has really upped his level in his last 2 matches. There you see it. He did miss 10 darts at a double, but his scoring prolific in that one. Let's take a little look at what that does to the league standing heading into our final 3 games of the evening. It's Colin Osborne who's top of the standings. He's up next, of course, against Matt Dennant, who's looking for his first victory of the evening. Of course, Colin Osborne, fantastic in his victory over Scott Williams in his last match, a 98 average posted in that one. Let's see who comes out on top in this one, in the company again of Glenn and Henry.
Thank you very much, Abby. It's the 2 players that bookend our Group B table going toe-to-toe in this one. Colin Osborne top on legs difference from Sebastian Bialecki and Scott Williams up against Matt Dennant, who desperately needs to get points on the board. He'll play in this one and then the final game of the session against Nathan Girvan later on this evening. But Colin Osborne has perhaps been playing some of the best darts we've seen all evening.
And I'm sure when he's self-reflecting in the practice room there, he would have took 6 points. 3 wins, 1 loss. I think any of the players tonight, I think maybe someone like Scott Williams, I'm going to win all 4 games tonight.
Colin to throw first.
But sensibly.
Game on.
So I think it's a big game for Colin here. He'd go away with 6 points, a very, very happy man. For Matty, the competition starts now. It's getting to a stage now where it's a must-win. So another intriguing battle awaits.
Because the other thing as well is because the group is bunching up in the fashion that it is
100.
now, the one who's chasing from the bottom has got a lot of work to do. Even though the points difference may not be as big, you're having to jump hoops at every single juncture.
And it's getting to a stage then where you're relying on other people and you want it in your own hands, really. So, yeah, big game for Matty, but I'm sure he doesn't need telling that. He's just looked incredibly solid tonight, hasn't he?
95.
It's not like I haven't seen Colin play for a long time. I've seen him, but like I said, you get players, the Kevin Painters of this world, where they're just a better player on a stage. Playing on a floor is tough. Playing local competitions, it's tough. But when you get the professional, what you're getting tonight, the stage, the setup, some players just absolutely love that. And I just get the feeling that Colin's really, really enjoying himself tonight.
Certainly the best I've seen Colin throw for a long while now. I know he's had some success as well on the ADC Championship Tour as well this year. Runner-up in one of the events, I believe.
Again, when we're talking about professional, the ADC, the setup there is pretty amazing. I've got Scott Hunt from the Northeast is playing a big part in that, along with Steve Brown, etc. And I know a lot of the Teesside lads are off to Bristol this weekend. So a big shout out for me mate Carl Coleman, who's doing his very, very best. His dream is to play at Lakeside, but he said he would love to play something like this Super Series, and they're the type of players I'd like to see. Well, but it's people like me and Colin who've sort of showed the people of Teesside what can be done, and it's great to see how many players are coming through from our region now.
77.
And of course, shall I say, move across the northeast, the amount of players from Newcastle, dare I say that word in front of you.
I'll see how Colin does on this finish here, but it's really interesting when you start talking about the Geordies as well, because there's a little story to tell. But I'd just like to see if Colin can just check out this, because it would put him in a great position. He's going to go for the bull now, because you don't give. And once again.
44.
Once again, how many times have we seen that
missed number? 133.
That big number missed today? We haven't really seen, as well as the finishing's been good, we haven't really seen big 3 that really changed, like a 1-3-3.
97. Colin, you require 40.
Colin's been pretty deadly on the doubles tonight, which is probably a commentator's curse, but we'll see how that goes.
Game shot on the first leg. Colin Osborne.
Look at that. Just watch his demeanour, watch his body language, the grit of the teeth there. It's just all that experience coming through,
Second leg
and
is
how
Matt
much he
to
still
throw
wants it.
first.
It's great to watch. This is just not a night out for him. You know, he realised what the prizes are with the MODUS Super Series.
59.
And, he's given it his all. But when you talk about Newcastle, a big turning point in my career was winning an awful lot in the Teesside area. A bit of a one-trick pony was sort of the nickname. He never leaves
45.
Middlesbrough. And when you start winning tournaments up there with with the likes of Gordon Dorby and Paul Knighton was an exceptional player.
180.
Has always been so tough. Then you know that you're a great player. A lovely 180 there from Matty Dennant. He's going nowhere. If Colin's going to win this, he'll have to fight for it.
100.
Got to fight for your right to party in Pompey.
$125.
He's himself on a finish after 9 there, Matt Dennant. He said Matt Edgar then.
Yeah, just when you think Matty Dennant's sort of out of it, he's got that fighting spirit about him, hasn't he?
60. Matt, you record 137.
And there was a switch turn for Sebastian tonight. Is this the moment now for sort of Matty?
59.
Only a 180 will do here. That's all. Anything else is looking pretty irrelevant. Probably puts pay to this leg for Colin. He's probably already thinking of the next leg.
81.
I don't expect Matty Dennant to be messing around with his 78 finish too much.
And so double eights for Matt Dennant to make it 1-1, and it is as easy as that for the Scholar. And a top-class finish to level us up at 1 apiece. Both 1 from 1 on the checkouts, but it's been the scoring phase so far, which has been a little bit suspect.
Let's go on with darts right now, so it's over to Colin. But the first 3 darts of his legs have been so solid.
140.
It's tough to beat when you stand by and you win a leg and all you want to hear is 60. And when you hear that, the tone of Owen go 1, it does sort of sicken you a little
31.
bit.
No one wants to hear Owen.
Yeah. Even if he does laugh at your parallel parking.
He's one to talk, by the way.
Matty Dennis gesticulating to the crowd there. That's very easy for me to say. I'll try that again in a second.
58.
I don't think the time is now to get the word gargantuan. I had a bet earlier with Scott Williams that I couldn't get that word in. I'm still trying to get my tongue around gesticulating. Just.
123.
Super impressive leg again here, Henry.
Colin Osborne is getting his way around this leg and perhaps wrestling control of this match. 192 after 9. Dennant all the way back on 327. And that first start tonight has usually been a nice life for him, but that one slips into the single 1. And now he's just got to reevaluate the options. 171 left. So he's going to head downstairs for the treble 19. And how many times have we seen that?
And imagine Alex Small in that position there. He would have just flung that last dart, and that's what I would probably say to Alec. Maybe show them that. Just take your time, get the reset. Treble 19 goes in. That's the difference. Just that little bit of experience, a little bit of composure.
Treble 18. With left tops, but Dennant all the way back on 227. Still got that luxury of time, seemingly all the time in the world. That's unlucky. Now he has to get a treble.
40.
That was a nice angle.
Colin, you require 56.
But how many bounce outs have we had today? And how many finishes have we had round about this 56 mark? And they've been very, very good tonight, I have to say. But don't miss the big number. Double top. For a 2-1 lead, Colin Osborne.
16.
Oh. And the way these 19s are going in tonight, 3 treble 19s would be nice.
133.
Magnet is still working,
Colin, you require 40.
but it's tops. And it, you know, he needs it here. Let's not get complacent.
Game shot on the third leg.
Solid. As a
Colin
look at that.
Osborne.
Growls at the board.
And there must be one great big puncture mark at the
Well,
top
we'll get to
middle
Matt to
bit
throw
of tops.
first. Game
Because
on.
it seems every single time he's come back for that double, 3 darts in hand, it has hit the same puncture mark first dart.
97.
And I know personally how hard he's worked, how frustrated he's been, because when you throw technically changes, you know, and to sit with him at the Teesside Open this year, and he said it's taken him a long time, but he feels now
100.
that he's getting really back to a stage where he wants to be. He's winning. He's not frightened to go to local tournaments. He's getting that match practice because it knows bears fruit when he
100.
comes to the bigger tournaments. And yeah, you've got to say he's been mightily impressive tonight.
And that's kind of your base level, and that's where you do your groundwork and you kind of test where your game is at in an environment where there is obviously the pressure to win, but not in terms of ranking points or things like that.
But when you've been to the very top, when you've been in the top 10 in the world, which Colin has, you know, to suddenly go back to local league again, you know, you feel like it's a lose-lose situation. Probably one of the reasons why I hid away, you know, during my very bad times as well. But Colin's been proud as a peacock. He's always turned up, win or lose, and it's a great
38.
mentality
You
to
require
have.
170.
Were you, Matt? Didn't have to if Osborne back on 263.
64.
Yeah, it's been one of them sort of matches where if you've got the dart, you're sort of running away with a leg, as long as you don't mess about with the finishing at the end.
$58. Matt, you require 106.
This sort of finish has been hit by many of the players tonight. Treble 18 and double 16.
74.
He was looking forward to equal the game. This is the 4th leg that we've talked about again so much. That 3-1-2-2 once again. It just mirrors so many of these matches.
100. Matt, you
Double
require
16
32.
with dart 16. 2 8s.
24.
2 apiece, it won't go.
That is
Colin, you
just the
require
difference.
105.
That is the absolute difference, and it'll be no surprise to me to see this man check out on this 105. Treble 19 or treble 15? A wire away. He should stay around that treble 16 area. Just needs to compose himself. I really
89.
like what Matthew was doing there.
Matt, you
Just
require
didn't look at
8.
the board, just stayed in his own zone. Something Dimmy van der Berg does an awful lot right now, so there's nothing wrong. Just focus on that double 4, which has been hit tonight. This
Game
double
shot on
2.
the
This double 2
4th
has been
leg.
hit a few times
Matt
tonight. That's
Dennant.
exactly what Matty Dennant needed, and he's taken the match to 2-2 now. He's given Colin Osborne something to think about. Both
Fifth leg, it's
nowhere
Colin
near the
to
best
throw
in this.
first.
Colin's probably his best attribute has been his finishing in this leg, but the scoring has been pretty woeful from both players now.
Even so, I want to give you hit a max there.
100.
Where my predictions have been today. But he's been so solid with his darts, his first 3 darts of every leg, and it's tough to beat.
100.
And the important thing, having playing so much or playing so many games as they are in a day, you're going to have one which is not up to your standard. It's making sure you get the 2 points in that game where you know you're not up to your level.
If Colin wins ugly here,
58.
I think he just goes away still a very happy man. He's got the 6 points what he's come for. So I think that's a great point, that Henry. You're right.
100.
Reminder, we're back at 9:30 tomorrow morning here on Sporty Stuff TV for the conclusion of Group C. 9:30 we begin. 2 players from 6 will progress and join Danny Lauby at finals night on Saturday. That's a 10 o'clock start with us again here on Sporty Stuff TV and on the MODUS Super Series YouTube channel across the world. And you can join us here in Portsmouth to see some darts just like that. Dartshop.tv, the place to be to get your free tickets for Saturday night's Darty Party in Pompey, as Dennant leads 1-2-1 after 9.
100.
He was
mate,
just beginning to take control
121.
with a 140 previously. But he's a fighter, this lad. But that is a dart which is treble 18. He's set it up nice. He's put an awful lot of pressure because this would be for a break as well. Colin, are you up for the challenge of this 103? Big moments in this match. I don't think he fancied that 17 there. What does that leave?
The double 13.
He certainly didn't plan this. How's your luck, Colin? How is your luck? I'll try that again. How's your luck, Wizard? How is your luck?
90.
So Dennant
Mate,
returns
32.
for a breaker throw and a 3-2 lead. And he'd then have the darts to throw for his first victory of the evening.
Game
And there
shot
it
on the
goes to
fifth
Dennant.
leg.
There is the
Matt
break. And
Dennant.
that misfire into the single 17 could cost Colin Osborne big in the complexion of this match. And Matt Dennant now has the
So it looks
darts
Matt to
to
throw
secure
first.
his first victory of the
Game on.
evening.
You talked about the bunch sort of, you know, the table bunching up. A victory here for Dennant would do exactly that. What an unbelievable night we'd have
140.
tomorrow night. You just felt like Colin was sort of just running away with this game. But what this, you know, this is a big turning point in this league. I'm sure the guys in the practice room are
45.
shouting for Matty Dennant here. It's just a huge game. Just look at his eyes right now. Look at the eyes.
85.
I think he fancies this right now.
Well, he needed a max just to get level in this leg, Osborne.
59.
And so it is full advantage to the Scholar on 2.76 after 6. And he's making huge inroads here. He is marching towards
140.
the finishing line, and his first win of the evening. He leaves a finish after 9.
How do you think Colin feels if he goes away with a 2-2?
He knows he's in with more on the shout tomorrow.
100, mate,
That's the important thing.
136.
Give yourself a chance.
$85.
Only Matty Dennant makes things hard for himself, doesn't he? But that last start there was exactly what he wanted. And how many times have we said that people want 50-plus finish here, and no one's let us down tonight?
140.
Just gives
Mate, you require
Just gives
51.
Matty something to think about. That dart had to go in. And double 16, 2 darts. But a
Game
4-2
shot on
victory
the
for Matt
mat.
Dennant, which does things to
Matt
this
Dennant.
group. It bunches them all together. An 87.48 average. 36% on his doubles. A huge win for Matty Dennant there. Colin Osborne, his night is finished with 2 wins out of 4. Coming up next, we've got Sebastian Bialecki against Scott Williams.
Hello and welcome back to the MODUS Super Series here at the Live Lounge in Portsmouth, where we have just witnessed Matt Dennant get his first victory of the evening in his last match of the evening. There we have confirmation of it, a 4-2 victory over Colin Osborne in that one. An average of 87 with 2 180s, 4 out of 11 on the outer ring, doing enough in that one to get the better of the man who is currently top of the league table. We can take a little look at that now. He is top, but in this next match, we have Bialecki against Scott Williams. One of them will move ahead of Colin Osborne going into the final day of action. One of them will move on to 6 points, of course, in the next match. It is Bialecki against Scott Williams, our penultimate game of the evening. It's Scott Williams looking to bounce back after defeat in his last match. Bialecki really grown into tonight's action, hasn't he? Got better and better as the evening's gone on. Really impressive in his victory over Nathan Girvan. Can he follow that one up with another victory to end his evening, or will it be Scott Williams who ends his evening with 3 victories out of 4? Let's find out in the company yet again of Glenn and Henry.
Thank you very much, Abby. I'm really intrigued to see how this tungsten tussle goes, as Scott Williams does something which is quite traditional for him with his last 3 practice darts. He bunches them all together and he throws it at the board, and I believe he throws it left-handed as well. He's an exhibitionist. I'm sure he'll be, as time goes on, he'll be great in exhibition. The blind 180, the bull 1 bull. Get him booked in because he's a quality player as well.
100.
And this is a match where both players are sat on 4 points. The winner of this game sort of takes control of the group and will be sitting pretty, ready for a Friday night session.
96.
And who would have thought that would have been Sebastian 2 hours ago? He'd be really pleased if he can top the table after the start he had.
85.
And it just shows how this format can just change so dramatically. Bialecki lost out 4-1 to Colin Osborne. It was a slow start for the poll before them beating Matt Dennant by 4 legs to 2, and then beating Girvan by the same scoreline. Averages in that one of 91.74 against Dennant and then 97.85 against Girvan. But there we go. It's another no-look 180 for Scott Williams.
70.
Unbelievable. Unbelievable.
45.
What a talented boy he is.
Scott, you're 136.
But can he go bull double 18 bull? Oh, sorry. Double 8.
128.
Nearly my first 3-figure shout of the day.
Sebastian, you're 125.
Sebastian 125 again. Another finish we all love. Does he go 25 bull or does he go treble 17?
75. Scott, you require 8.
For a break as well to come out the traps. Madhouse.
Game shot on the first.
Absolutely. Was there any
Scott
doubt?
Williams.
Blind 180, you know, double 1 finish for the first leg. Some talent. Scott Williams, 1-0.
Second against Scott.
And all of that within 15 darts.
Game
we
on.
talked about Aaron Monk being a maverick. Can you imagine Saturday night, full crowd in there of Aaron's friends and family? And Scott is doing blind 180s and bull 1 bull. I want to be a part of that. You could be a part of it as well. Dartshop.tv for your free tickets to Saturday night's finale. It's the
100.
red carpet occasion here at the Super Series, where only the winner of the week will progress their way through to Champions Week and the coveted £20,000 top prize. And the 8 players that have already booked their place there are Robert Owen, Chaz Barstow, Graham Hall,
100.
Darryl Pilgrim, Lee Evans, Kieran Tierney, who won the first ever night here at the Live Lounge, Graham Usher, and Conan Whitehead, who won on Saturday night. Will we see Bialecki pick up the big prize? We will, with more visits like that. And just look at his average. We said he was getting better as the day went on. Sebastian's well over that 100 mark, and he's going toe-to-toe with Scott.
And just a big shout out to Conan Whitehead. There was a guy who was just totally and utterly out of confidence. I remember messaging him after he had a torrid time at the county darts, and to see him win last week, I'm very, very proud. I really enjoy Conan's company. I really do.
One of my favourite interviews was probably that winning interview last week.
137.
Really honest in his appraisal.
Sebastian
It's
requires
important to be honest
81.
with you. He's that 81 finish again. Is it the traditional treble 19? 12? Once again.
41.
He's
So
gambled on the
require
treble, and by doing
140.
so, he's missed out on the opportunity to have a dart at Bull, and you would not put this 114 past Williams. It's a B for a 2-0 lead, having broken in the first. Tops!
Game
There
on
it
the
is.
second leg.
Absolutely
Scott
lethal.
Williams.
That's 110 finish was memorable earlier. A 106 was memorable earlier. And as soon as he wanted, I've seen that he wanted 114, you just
Look at
happened
Sebastian
to fancy
to
it.
throw
He punches the air
first.
with delight there. The guy is a talent, and he leads 2-0. Sebastian's not doing an awful lot wrong here. Another match where both
100.
players are averaging over 100.
Have a look at them averages, as Glenn says. Absolutely incredible. Spellbinding stuff
93.
here at the Super Series.
Shabba. Oh, no, that's not Shaggy, is it? Is it? Yeah. That's my pop knowledge going down the hill there. You asked me to be in your quiz
58.
team. I'm probably no good. Well, I always thought Shaggy was Joe Mernon.
He was, yeah. Although, if you do enter the quiz team, it'd be nice because at least someone would turn up.
140.
So I hear you. Here comes my lover. It's getting late, guys. Apologies. Apology from the
45.
commentary box.
Has to go up now, Scott Williams.
98.
And that leaves, guess what, Glenn?
Surely the penultimate game of the night. I'm going to get the 170 I've craved for all day.
You'd probably go 3 bullseyes and set it up for double
93.
10.
Scott, you require
Wouldn't surprise me.
170.
Come on, Scotty boy.
You know you would have gone for it
102.
as well.
I think he'd have gone blind. Yeah, you couldn't get two different
97.
characters when you sort of look at the when you sort of
68.
dissect the pair of them.
But it is the flamboyance and the exuberance of Scott
Games
Williams that
on
is
the
taking
third
full
leg.
command of this match.
Scott Williams.
As he opens up a 3-0 lead over Sebastian Bialecki, and he's one away from the victory post. He's picked up the double breaker throw, which means he has got the darts to
Game
secure that 4-0 win.
Could it be the first 4-0 of the day?
57.
Indeed, it's been a closely fought day. It's been about 4-2s in this group. The last 5 matches are finished by that
83.
scoreline, and then we had that flurry of 4-3s in this morning's session. It was absolutely magnificent to watch. 9 of those games going the distance, but this one might not have much longer left in it as Scott Williams gets his second max of the match to put it on 2-6-4 after 6, and Bialecki is on the canvas, he's on the
82.
ropes as Williams advances, making a march towards victory and towards potentially topping the table overnight. Oh, this is excellent. Oh, he was trying to do it
121.
again.
Love it. Absolutely love it. I think Jamie Hughes has been said he's got the best throw in the PDC dart at the moment, but I'd argue that the way when Scott's on it,
He's got
that throw is there's not an awful look at that angle there. He likes that treble 18.
111.
He will return.
I had my fingers and toes out there trying to counter what the finishing was, but a wonderful way of leaving 32.
For what would be our first ton plus average of the day,
100.
Scott Williams
Scott, you
stares
require
down.
32.
Double 16 for 13 data and the match.
Game
and the
shot and
most
the
remarkable
match.
performance
Scott
from
Williams.
Shaggy. A 103.66 average. It's the first ton topper we've seen today. What a game that was. Sebastian Bialecki with a 95 average. Didn't even get a data double. That was how good Scott Williams was. Absolutely electric from the eccentric. 103.66, 2 maximums, 4 from 8, 50%, 114 high checkout. Whatever stats line you look at, it was superb from Scott. So, our last game of the day, game 25 at 25 on Thursday here at the Super Series, sees Matt Dennant take on Nathan Girvan.
Welcome back to the live lounge here in Portsmouth, where we've just seen our first whitewash win of the day here at the Super Series. An incredible performance from Scott Williams, the first ton-topping average of the day as well, 103.66 in that one. 50% checkout success in that match as well. We saw some fantastic finish in the 114, a real highlight in that match. Another no-look 180 from Scott Williams in the game as well. A real showman, and he certainly put on a show for us all in that match. Let's see what that does to the league table then, with one match remaining this evening. Scott Williams on 6 points. And this next match, it is Matt Dennant against Nathan Girvan. So one of those will end the evening on 2 points, but we're yet to find out who it will be. Of course, Nathan Girvan, the only other player to average in excess of a ton this week. He did so on Tuesday. Can he replicate that here in the last game of the evening? Chaps, who do you think is going to come out on top in this one?
Interesting question, Abby. I'm going to go Nathan Girvan in this one. Don't know about you, Glenn.
I mean, it is a toss of a coin. Just for the enjoyment of it, I'll go Matty Dennant then. But honestly, it's a flick of a coin. It's a full admiration for all 5 players tonight. It's been a real eye-opener for me, and all 5, I think, have been absolutely superb. But the loser of this game will go to bed tonight thinking, can they pull this back? Because when it's such a small group and you start sort of dropping down a little bit, they suddenly become must-wins. So, you know, consider it's the last game of the night. It's probably the biggest game of the night also, because the loser's got a long, long road back.
Okay, first leg, it's Matt to throw
Interestingly,
first.
on the back of that 4-0 win for
Game
Scott
on.
Williams, where he averaged 103.66, a brilliant performance from Scott. It's made his nightly average just over 97, over 4 games.
He's a talent.
140.
He's as good as I thought he was, you know, when I met him sort of this year. And I won't lie, there was, you know, who is this guy? You know, not many people can walk in there and have a presence with the type of players that's in the
60.
PDC, but he did. But he backs it up. He backs it up with his performances. He played for England this year. You know, he's done tremendous on the challenge tour.
45.
He's got a bright, bright future.
And the overall average for the entire group ahead of this game is 91.4. We've seen some fantastic stuff this evening.
Considering this afternoon, you know, it was a sort of, I felt like a barrage of missed doubles and 70 averages, early 80 averages.
180.
And this game just continues. Look at the average Matty Dennant setting already.
140. Matty
Girvan looking to follow. 136 for Dennant for 12 dart leg to open. That's a perfect guide, but he couldn't follow it.
96.
He's going to return for tops after 12.
But just what the doctor ordered. Nathan's probably feeling, what do I have to do?
44.
What a week
Mate,
this has
required
been.
40.
Everything's against me.
Game shot in the first leg.
14 dart
Matt
first
Dennant.
leg there from Matty Dennant. He looks as fresh as a daisy there. Has the week been just a little bit too long for Nathan?
Second leg is
Bouncing
Nathan
around
to
there.
throw
Matty is as
first.
focused as he was at 10 o'clock tonight.
Game on.
And more importantly, it's a bright start, 14 darter. If you're looking to break Nathan now.
100.
So it's time for Nathan to kick off leg 2 with the darts, but this man is throwing some good stuff at the latter end of the day.
140.
It's the focus now. Just watch the player's eyes. There's just no blinking from Matty right now. He's just,
93.
like I said, he's got that eye on that treble 20 now, and he's feeling good. You can just tell by his whole demeanour. Look at him. He's just feeling great. You can just plonk him in that treble 20 right now.
95.
So come on then, Glenn. Last game of your first day here in the Super Series commentary box. You've enjoyed yourself?
Seriously, you know, I always answer
24.
questions as honest as I can. I've had a fabulous time, and I mean, it's a marathon. You know, at times today it was, you know, these 4-3s. You know, you're thinking, am I repeating myself? Am I saying things for,
135.
for no reason whatsoever? But tonight just rejuvenated me. It's been a wonderful session. I can't wait for Saturday night. I mean, I don't want to bypass what's going to happen
131.
tomorrow, but I can't wait for Saturday night.
You will enjoy it. That's all I'm going to say.
95.
We'll have Chris Mason alongside us as well for that, as Dennant leads 36 after 12. Girvan can only apply pressure, but that was a snatch there with the first dart. I just wonder whether Nathan, as Glenn mentioned a few moments ago, is just running out of a bit of
64.
energy here as Dennant returns
36.
for the double 16 for a 2-0 lead. Break of throw
Games
as
on the second
easy
leg.
as that.
Matt
And the
Dennant.
average is 111.33. He is running towards the finishing line in this last game of the session. He's halfway there already, 2-0 after 3 minutes.
First. Game on.
This is good.
180.
Absolutely stupendous, scintillating, sublime, superlativeless.
180.
I'm going to say I've run out of superlatives, but what an opening. They're just both with maxes.
134.
And there's that 1-3-4. Wouldn't be a game of darts tonight if it wasn't no 1-3-4.
57.
187 after 6 darts. A lot of players have gone the 19s at this point.
44.
First loose one we've seen from Dennant in this game.
What does Nathan do? He capitalises.
100. Mate, you're
Probably even a little bit disappointed after that unbelievable first dart there. So 1-4-3. Treble 17. And that leaves 66 has gone the bullseye route to leave 41 there. But what we haven't had tonight is that real big, huge finish.
And we're not going to see it here, so Dennant returns to 41 for 3-0 in next to no time at all.
This has been what tonight's been all about.
These
finishes have just been absolutely insane from all 5 players. And he continues the trend. 110 average here from Matt Dennant, 3-0 up.
Fourth leg, it's Nathan's
got to be thinking, why me?
Game on.
Why me, Matty?
If he can do it in less than 50 seconds,
41.
he would break Graham Usher's record. Although I think we may just pass that bridge on timing.
100.
Look at the average, 109.
96.
At 1:10 in the morning.
It's all right.
Just not fair.
100.
100's a low score for him right now.
Imagine hitting a ton and it brings your average down.
84.
Performance of the night? I mean, I know Scott Williams has been unbelievable.
81.
But what a marker Matty's putting down. And after the first 2 games, we were talking, is he out of the running?
140.
Nathan's not going down without a fight.
Nathan, you've got 140.
140 to save the match. And so Dennant's going to return for Shanghai
40.
for a 4-0 win.
You've got 120.
To cap off the best performance we've seen today in the last game of the day. Oh, that's unlucky. That's been deflected out of, or away from that first dart. So a ton for Girvan. Tops he wants. 2 10s.
Game
for
shot
3-1.
flag.
And Girvan's still
Nathan
in this
Girvan.
game. He's still trying to claw out opportunities for himself. That's his first 2 darts at double in the match.
Game on.
Dennant here has the darts, has the throw to seal a 4-1 victory. It would put him back in the mix. It would finally poise the table going into the second day's action. The loser of this game will finish bottom of the group overnight.
100.
Dennant Girvan on 2, Bialecki, Osborne 4, and Williams top of the pile on 6. He's the man to beat going into tomorrow night. That is for certain. And we will return with this group tomorrow evening at 10 PM on Sporty Stuff TV.
60.
But do join us from 9:30 a.m. when we're going to see the conclusion of Group C. 9:30 start, Sporty Stuff TV and around the world on the MODUS Super Series YouTube channel. And don't forget to subscribe to it because we have got plenty of content coming up over the next couple of days. Girvan needs a lot.
140.
And so Dennant has 6 and 140 for the match. You'd love a ton here. Love a treble with this last start.
60.
It's not bad. It's not bad at all.
96.
And so,
Mate, you require 80.
to put the gloss on a glorious victory, 2 10s for Dennant to seal a superb victory to end the night's action here in Group B. He is a victor over Nathan Girvan by 4 legs to 1. And this is how he did it, with the best performance we have seen today. 104.14 average, 2 maximums to his name, 4 from 5 on the checkouts, the high out of 80 there. And Matt Dennant finishes the show superbly with a 4-1 victory against Nathan Girvan. That concludes the day's action then here at the MODUS Super Series. Just one more order of business to do, and that is to head upstairs and get the final thoughts and observations from the 3-time Lakeside champ that is Glenn Dennant. He's upstairs talking to Abigail Davis.
Yeah, thanks very much, Henry. Wow, Matt Dennant, and wow, the standard of darts we've seen all night.
I mean, it was a tough afternoon. I mean, it was just enthralling, but tonight, you know, we waxed lyrical so much about the talent that was out there, all 5 players, but boy, did they deliver. What an unbelievable night of darts, and probably the performance of the night saved right at the end, and it couldn't happen to a nicer guy.
It really, really was, and we can see what that does to the league stand-ins heading into the final day of action. Of course, it moves Matt Dennant up to 2nd in the table. Of course, he had 3 darts at a double to beat Scott Williams in his opening match, but it was really the last 2 games of the day where he really came into his own, wasn't it?
I mean, there's a couple of things, you know, when you look at that table. I mean, Matt Dennant, after the first 2 games, we were, you know, me and Henry were talking, is he out of the running already? But he showed unbelievable fighting qualities and, you know, 104 average at the end, you know, so late at night as well. Absolutely superb, but what a talent Scott Williams is. I knew how impressive he was, you know. It's not often a guy can walk into a Pro Tour of the PDC and make a statement without having a tour card, and he's as good as I thought he would be as well. And tonight, you know, that mixture of the cockiness, the brashness, but I also saw a different side to him, but also he lets the darts do the talking.
He did, and I think there's often a misconception with Scott Williams, because I think people think he's overconfident, he's too cocky. He's not. He just believes in his own ability. He's a very pleasant man, though, and he just, as you said, lets his darts do the talking.
I'm a big believer in balance, and I would love to maybe see some of the players see the softer side of him as well, because I have tonight, and I like him a little bit more tonight. It's great having all that, but just to hear him talk, the respect he had for Nathan earlier, it goes a long way. Well, it certainly does with me anyway.
Most definitely. And we do come to a conclusion in both Group B and Group C tomorrow. It's been a long day, hasn't it? We'll head into Group C tomorrow morning. So let's remind you how things are looking going into the morning session. I believe we can have a little look at the league table going into that. It is Jamie Kelling, isn't it, who sits top at the moment. He's been really impressive. Really looking forward to seeing him back in action. What can Aaron Monk do, though?
I mean, Aaron Monk is the Scott Williams of Group B and C. I mean, we've had a couple of mavericks, a couple of characters there today. I enjoyed watching Aaron Monk. I thought Jamie Kellum is a, you know, deserved top of the table. I mean, it's all to play for. Lee Cox, very interesting. Didn't play his best today. He's joined top. And I'd be interested in how he feels tonight, because I'm sure he felt he got away with a couple today, but he's right in the mix there. Be interesting to see which 2 go through from that group.
Absolutely, an incredibly congested table heading into the final session in Group C. Of course, we had so many last leg deciders in that session this morning. We may well have more tomorrow morning. You can rejoin us from 9:30. And just a reminder as well, if you want to join us on Saturday for this party atmosphere, you you can be in the crowd. Tickets are free. All you need to do is go to dartshop.tv to register your interest, and you could be here on Saturday. You may even bump into this man if you're fortunate. We'll see you tomorrow at 9:30 a.m. though for the conclusion of Group C.